Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Hey! Woo! Happy Monday, happy Monday. Welcome to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Tyvis! Haven't seen you in a minute.
That's what I said. You know, I was just in here
4 months?
No, it's been longer than that.
Has it really?
It's since last football season.
I feel like I haven't seen you since last year.
Since last
It
season?
might be.
All it took was a couple of people to go on vacation, and there it is.
Boom!
How's it been, man? What you been
Been
up
great.
to? You
Great.
look good.
Thanks, you do too.
Oh, I'm trying to lose some
You're like
weight.
Mr. Full-Time now. You got jobs. Oh, by the way, for someone who claims to not be a media member, you're in the media.
He has like 7 different media
Yeah,
jobs.
you're in the media.
First of all, I work in the media. I'm not a media member.
That makes you a media member.
No.
When you can't be,
It's
you
like
can't work in the circus and not be a circus performer
Can you be an Army
Yes, you
Ranger?
can.
Can
No.
you be an Army Ranger but not be...
in the Army.
If you ain't served like overseas, no.
Oh, then you're not officially. Well, tell that to all the men and women that have served, but not overseas.
You just opened up a can of worms there, Todd. I am not.
You are a media member. Let's just
I'm
put
not
that
a
to bed
media
right
member.
now.
I'm not.
I know you're trying as hard as you can to push back from that, but the Big Ten Network would disagree. WBNS TV would disagree. WBNS Radio would disagree, and the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show would disagree. Did I leave any jobs out?
The Cleveland Browns.
The Cleveland Browns would disagree.
Well, see, my stuff says game services. Like,
Well, that was a
so some
mistake.
people's
I don't
stuff
know.
say media. Mine says game services.
So what? You're
Team
selling beer?
official.
What does that
Team
mean?
official.
Oh, is that what it says?
Yeah.
Team official?
Team official.
Well, technically, you are part of the team,
Yes.
but technically, you are part of the media.
Part of the media team.
It's just a negative connotation. That
No,
comes
it's
with
okay.
it. No, it's
You are in the media. You can wish it away all you want, but let's call it what it is.
Former athlete.
Mr. Media.
When
You always will wear that hat. Too.
Exactly. That's,
Always.
That's analyst. I'm an analyst.
Analyst is
Which
part
is
of the media.
media.
It's a media ecosystem, Tyvis. We all
Anyway,
need each other to
Yeah,
fully
we do.
make it work.
It's a machine. You're a tooth in the gear that makes the whole media machine move.
I'm not. At least
we're
I'm not.
glad you are, by
I'm
the
not
way.
a reporter. How about that?
Now
Fact.
that's true.
Fact.
Thank you. Okay.
There you
That
go.
is
we,
true.
We can agree on that.
And guess what? I'm not either. And I think that's a good thing. Like being a reporter,
It sucked.
that
I
is
did it.
no good, man. I've done it too.
That's why I'm doing this now.
Why does that suck?
Because you're never off.
Yeah.
You're working phones 24/7. It might be 2 a.m. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess so.
That's when DUIs
You
happen.
ain't never thought about being on the beat.
Never. Oh my God, no. I'd leave the business in a heartbeat before that happens.
I did it.
You did the beat.
At A&M, yeah. If Jimbo farted, we were there. That's what you have to live in.
So now at BNS for 5 years, you know how this works. I'm on the Buckeye beat.
Technically,
We're
yes.
at practice every day. We
Yes.
travel with the team, all of that. But I also had a lot of other duties. I anchored shows. I covered the Clippers. I covered the Crew. So it's not like none of us here have ever been specifically 100%. That's what I consider a beat reporter to be. You're in it.
So
That's your life.
Is Mary Kay considered?
Oh,
a beat
1,000%.
reporter?
Yes. She is
Daniel,
the
Barry K,
Fusi.
Daniel, Zach.
Yeah, if that's their job, covering a team, they're a beat reporter.
If you see them at every press conference,
They're a beat reporter.
they're a beat reporter. If they're at every practice, they're a beat reporter. When you can kind
That's
of
a tough gig, too.
meander
Mike
your way
knows.
in and out, you're not a full beat reporter.
No, you're just covering the team.
Exactly.
You're covering the team. Yeah.
Exactly.
Ant's behind the glass. What's
up,
up,
guys?
Ant?
What up, Ed?
Tyvis, you are a media member.
That's
That's my chime in for the
Now
first
it's
10 minutes.
3-1, so you are officially.
We got to get Steve's vote.
All right, well, that's
4-1.
Makes it 4-1.
You thought
Wait, did
Steve
you
was
think
going to take
Steve
your
was gonna
side?
vote for you on that?
And we make a poll.
Never,
If you sat here and insisted you were a media member, he would laugh and say, "No, you're not. You're a former athlete." That's what Steve and you do.
I thought me and Steve buried the hatchet, but I see I was wrong. So
No, there's no. In fact, I think. Look, Tyvis, you've never looked better. Good job, Steve. I think what we should do, because I get such enjoyment out of your back and forth in our group chat. I think when we get good stingers from Steve and Tyvis and back and forth, we should clip them and post them for our viewers to enjoy.
You want to see Steve?
Because it is a great peel back of the curtain behind the scenes.
Steve just did something. He just destroyed me the other day.
Well, that's daily. He does that daily.
It was off the top row.
He's got a special chime on his phone when you enter the group chat because he races to his phone, goes to Chat GPT, give me a good joke for Tyvis on this one, and then immediately, no, I'm kidding. Steve is naturally funny,
he might, though.
but he lights you up every time you say something.
Steve is a hater. Isn't he going on vacation soon?
Yeah,
just got back.
next 2 weeks.
It's going to be the best
he's
2
going
weeks.
2 weeks.
We're going to have the best 2 weeks of this year.
I wouldn't count on it.
He's going on
I know how to unfocus the cameras too.
All right, I'm glad everybody had a good weekend.
Yeah.
Everybody enjoyed.
Yeah,
Nice.
very nice
Everybody,
weekend,
wonderful. Let's dive in. Let's dive in.
Steve, well played. Well played, Steve.
Now we need a screen grab of that so we can, in the open where we say, Tyvis Powell, we need to put that picture right there.
He is crazy.
Unfortunately, the people who made the open are no longer in our
I know, we'd have to
vicinity,
call.
which means that is never getting changed.
Yeah, that's going to be
a
our
heads up,
open.
that is never
What
getting
if we
changed.
add people to the...
When I retire, it's still going to be the same.
In full disclosure, I'll pull back the curtain. I'm a pretty good editor.
Yeah.
That's like
Oh, no, that's
advanced elite 17 levels into the editing
that's a lot of
sphere.
layers in that
I
editing
have
file.
no idea how they did what they did.
Yeah, no, that's...
And they're not...
No, the
in
gentleman
our-
that did
yeah.
it, Ryan.
Who's awesome. We love Ryan.
One of the best
Awesome.
editors I've worked with, and that includes those at
Yeah.
ESPN.
And he's not here anymore.
Very,
so.
very talented young
So
man.
Ty, you're lucky. You're off the hook.
All right, let's dive in. We're going to start with, of course, the Browns. We got to read before we do that, and then we're going to give grades. It's report card day. I think we should give grades for this performance and collectively. So, like, if this was a grading period, you give the grading period grade for the last preseason game, and then we can give a cumulative grade for the entire preseason. Which for Joe Flacco, it'd be the same. But go ahead. Are you okay with that?
All right, guys, I want to remind everybody that this episode is presented by Yahoo Fantasy. Fantasy football is back. Fire up the group chat and get your draft board ready. And buckle up for a season filled with breakouts, busts, and all the overreactions that we live for. It's all going down on Yahoo Fantasy. This year, UCSS is back on Yahoo Fantasy, and you should too, whether you're a first-timer or a veteran making your millionth league. To celebrate 28 years of fantasy greatness, Yahoo is dropping 28 big new features over 28 days, giving you more ways to play, more ways to draft, and more ways to win. And it all begins on August 4th. So stay tuned and start creating or joining your Yahoo Fantasy Football League at yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. That's yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. Let's make this fantasy season the best one yet.
They're the best. We've tried them all. There's no question.
Nope.
We came crawling back on our hands and knees to Yahoo, begging that they would take us back.
And they did.
Their
So shout out Yahoo.
info,
What did we go
their
to last?
CBS, we're done with it,
CBS,
though.
awful.
Yeah,
Don't
no.
do it. ESPN, not good. Yahoo they've been doing it the longest. They've got it figured out. All right, Joe Flacco looked exactly how I thought he would look. No rust, came in there, ran the offense. Wasn't complex, but he ran it. Did everything that I thought he would do. What do you guys grade Joe Flacco for his preseason performance Saturday?
I gave him an A. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't understand. There is nothing. The only negative thing that happened on Saturday was the fact that they started off 3 and out against guys that got all probably.
Which there was a drop in there.
They all got cut.
Wasn't there?
Yeah.
There was a drop in there that would've-
But for him individually, I thought that he was great. I mean, he got him down the field. That the touchdown to Harold Fanning was perfectly executed. Yeah, everybody looked good. I don't understand how anybody can have a negative.
I don't think I'm Joe Flacco. I didn't like that he took a sack. But
That's-
on that
part of it.
sack, Almani Marshall kind of missed the linebacker
running back
blitz.
totally missed.
You're
and
being
he
nice
missed.
when you say kind of miss,
he-
right?
No, he
They
totally,
made contact. He got beat.
He whiffed.
He got
Is you would've put
Would
it.
you
Yeah.
say that was even a chip? I would say that was a scratch.
He kinda
He got
whipped
in
on
the
the
way. He got in his way.
Not enough.
We're gonna
I'm sure Joe was like, "Hey, kid, you need to
Yeah.
Well, it was
knock him off his course."
It's unfortunate because Amani Marshall's a guy who's kind of on that bubble, especially with the running back situation. So
Right.
if you're going to be only a short yardage or goal line back, you got to be able to protect on on third downs
Absolutely.
like that, and that was an
You
opportunity.
can't be the reason your number one is on the sidelines.
right.
We're going to talk about Dillon. We're going to talk about Shedeur after this.
Oh, yeah.
We're going
We're
to keep
grading
Joe.
everybody.
We're going to keep Joe real quick. He did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Yep.
Starting offense, threw a touchdown pass, played just into the second quarter, the pass to Fannin. I mean, it was a great design by the offense to isolate Fannin, It's a great throw by Flacco to not put him in a situation where he's going to get killed by the incoming safety with the backside help as a corner. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. I was actually there for the first half of the game, Jay.
Yeah, you won the tickets to the
I won
box,
the tickets
right?
from It wasn't a box. It was just like
just seats.
just good seats, yeah.
Okay.
And then I watched it back on the All-22. The only thing I'll say about Flacco in person, it looks like he's moving so slow.
He is.
Like on TV, it looks like what you expect it to be
looks
slow.
on
In
TV
person,
too.
it was even slower, but
Yeah.
he made it work. I thought he looked good. The starting offense looked good, and I thought he played the perfect amount. I wouldn't want to see him go back out there for another snap. I thought he played the perfect amount to show what he needed to do, and it's what you want to see your starting quarterback look like in their final preseason tune-up.
Yeah, I agree. After the sack, I'm like, get him out. Get him out. He's our only hope, as we've seen. We're going to do what Joe.
You haven't seen Kenneth.
If Joe Flacco, I know we haven't. Like I said, he's our only hope. The Browns are going to go as far as Joe takes us.
Yeah.
That could be 2 wins, it could be 4 wins, it could be 6 wins, whatever. When Joe goes out, if he goes out, the good thing about that is we're going to get a read on these other guys. Right now, we don't know much about any of them, really. And I would throw Kenny Pickett into that.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw him 2 years in Pittsburgh. We saw him with an inferior offensive coordinator. The little bit he got to play last year, he was very effective, but he played, I think he threw like 30 passes or something. It wasn't like we got to see a lot of him in that Philadelphia offense. I'd like to see for real who he is. We don't know that yet. But as far as Flacco goes, I give him an A. He did everything I thought he would do. You're right, Mike. He looked slow on TV too. To me, the one thing I was looking for with Joe was there some age regression? And there was a little bit. Not as much as you might think. Having experienced that drop from 38 to 40, I can tell you, most people say that feels like a decade. You guys will find out. The young bucks will see. You see it in the gym. You see it in your stamina. You see it in everything. And I expected him to regress a little bit with age, and he did. He's slow, man.
Well,
he's slow, but he's crafty enough to get out of the way when he has to.
Nobody's expecting him to be like Michael Vick or anything like
No.
that. I think for me, my biggest thing with him was there going to be regression in the arm talent? Because that's what he's been so
Did you
known
see
for.
it? I didn't.
I didn't
No,
at all.
yeah.
So that's
Great.
why for
Arm looks
me,
great.
I'm like, oh yeah, he's good to go.
Yeah.
Because if he lost some zip on that ball,
Yeah, I'm with you.
I might need to see Kenny
But
Pickett.
honestly, and the mind is there.
Yeah.
You could see him going through his progressions, finding his reads, quickly taking the valve if he needs that, just to get it out of his hands. Joe has learned, I've heard Joe in interviews say, I play smarter. I play differently than I did when I was 25. You have to. And I think he's made all of the adjustments that he's needed to make. It's fun to watch guys. I'm going to make a crazy comparison, but this is what I thought of Saturday when I was watching the game. You guys are probably too young to remember this. When George Foreman came back, it was so fun to watch him because he's out there going, poof, poof, I got nothing to lose. Poof, poof. I mean, he's just throwing punches. He's not even like trying to dodge punches. He just was like, I'm house money, I'm 40, come get me. And when I watch Joe Flacco, I feel like Joe's out there going, not supposed to be here, was on the couch, boom. Yeah. Not supposed to be here. I'm ranked 31st. No one thinks I can do this. Boom.
Well, he wasn't always a big interception thrower early in his career, and now he's become a little more risk.
No.
The opposite of risk adverse.
Yeah, no, he's risky.
Yeah, he's riskier. Yeah.
He was risk adverse when you're young. You know why? Because you could be on your last. You don't want to be on your last step when you're 26.
Yeah, that's true.
When you're 40, you're like, sling it.
Yeah.
We saw it in the playoff game. I mean, you can live by that. You will die by that eventually.
I think for Joe, he's only going to be as successful as the offensive line takes him. Because if he's slow and he can't move like that,
that's a great point.
If the line ain't blocking, then it ain't happening.
Did we get a report on Posich? What was the deal?
Oh, they didn't say. He got an MRI yesterday,
Yeah, he's
right?
questionable.
We haven't heard, though. Right?
Questionable for week 1 is basically what Stefanski said.
We got Luke Whippler. We good. Go Bucks.
So,
are we good?
We good.
We good.
Whippler actually did look pretty good in his stuff.
He held his own. He
did.
did his thing.
Okay.
So that was the easy one.
That's what we Buckeyes.
That was the easy one. That was like, I think we all agree.
Yeah.
It was an A across the board. He looked as good as he could look, and he did exactly what we expected him to do. Now let's go to QB2. Do you want to read first?
Yeah, before we get to Gabriel, guys, August 26th is tomorrow, and it is officially FanDuel's Future Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or just ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before Week 1 even kicks off, This is your moment. So go ahead and take a flyer on the MVP race or crown your champion here in August. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now. Because Future Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game.
Awesome. All right, on to QB2. And we'll do the same thing. Tyvis, you can start. I'm not going to make any comments other than Dillon Gabriel, I think, threw a touchdown, no picks. What did you give Dillon Gabriel?
B+.
B+.
Gave him a B+. I wanted to give him an A because everything was so smooth. He did have a couple of missed throws, and the height.
Did you count the touchdown drop? Was that a drop or a missed throw to you?
No, the one to the corner.
Thrash?
Yes, thrash.
It was throw was low.
Yeah.
Throw was low.
Yeah, I thought that was a catchable ball. I couldn't say it was a drop, but I couldn't put it on either guy. Like, that's where you want to throw it. You got to throw it down and out, and he put it where it needed to be. I think a great receiver makes that catch, but it's not technically a drop in my mind.
It was
either.
two scenarios where the height came up for me. The one I told you, I texted you, I was like in the red zone. That's where they say it comes up. And then they sent a blitz. He did a play action, which I don't know why they don't roll him to the left to his strength.
I think they should.
But they play action. He rolled to his weekend, and when he turned around, he had a 7 route to the corner. That was an easy touchdown. But I think that was the pass he threw I want to say that was the thrash throw. He threw it, and he missed the throw because it was high.
Yeah.
It was looking for Caden Davis.
Yes. Then he had another throw that he overthrew.
Was that the hospital ball?
No, that was the 84. That's the hospital ball.
Yeah, he overthrew it, and I was like, every time he misses, it's an overthrow, which it leads to, and as a secondary, you're taught tips and overthrows, you got to get those. So any overthrow, that can lead to interception. So those were the reasons why I gave him a B+. But if you talk about a guy that sat back there, executed the offense, understood what the defense was doing, was able to go through his reads really fast, get the ball out in a timely manner, he did all of that. And he was able to even score in the red zone, which was something that he didn't do the previous week.
I agree with the B+, by the way. So I'll just get that out.
Yeah, we're all the same
I think
so far,
B+,
I got a B+ as well.
Was where he was at. He had the couple misses on the throw to Thrash in the end zone, Jay, that you said was low.
Yeah.
I was there, so I had he could have ran for a first down there.
It looked like he could
I
have.
thought the hamstring made him stop.
Well, I'm glad he didn't. And they talked about that on the telecast.
Yes.
Let's not put the pedal to the metal in a preseason game and miss the first.
So I understand the reasoning, but he certainly had a chance to extend that drive in the red zone and potentially put 7 on the board. So I do, even though I understand why he may have pulled up and decided to throw instead of run, I think a tiny bit for that. But that 2-minute drill that he executed at the end of the first half was almost flawless. Now, he did have the hospital ball on that drive, so I'm not saying it is flawless, but it was close to flawless. I went back and I watched the All-22 this morning as well. I posted some clips on my Twitter if you guys want to see it. The first out route he hit to Deontay Johnson was about a 16-yard gain.
It was a dime.
Not only was it a dime, but he threw that before Johnson even got into his break. The timing on that was immaculate. Later on that drive, they ran a flood concept, which I don't know if Kevin Stefanski historically has run flood concepts as frequently as he has this preseason, but they've been running flood concepts with all 3 quarterbacks.
Which tells me you probably won't see it in the regular season because he doesn't do that
or maybe not. Maybe not. But in the red zone, he had a flood concept that he connected to Jamari Thrash on, where he layered the ball over the first level of the defense. The deeper route in the concept took the safety back, layered it in. The next play ended up being a touchdown. You can't draw it up. You can't execute it better than Gabriel did. And I believe he was 8 of 10 or 9 of 11 for 86 yards and a touchdown in a 2-minute drill. What more can you ask for? And they ate up the entire clock. To me, he looked poised. He looked comfortable. He looked confident, which is something I didn't necessarily see against Philadelphia. And you want to see that kind of progression game in and game out for these young quarterbacks. So I thought it was a really, really, really solid and impressive showing for the Browns' third-round pick.
You're not gonna say I'm not gonna say that I didn't see it against Philly. The first quarter he was 8 of 9. He looked really good.
I saw it more though. He just looked in the pocket, like his feet weren't choppy. He looked set. He stood there. He went through his progressions. He made the right reads. There were a couple routes where he started looking left and came all the way back and worked around to the right. He just looked in complete control of whatever Kevin Stefanski was asking.
And that 2-minute drive, you ask quarterbacks, or you ask just anybody, what's one of the hardest things to do in football is execute a 2-minute drive at the end of a half or the end of the game.
Right.
It is very difficult to do. So to see him be able to score and put points up and look so poised in that moment, it speaks a lot about him.
To me, it's the closest you can get in a preseason game. And I'm glad you're here today because you can answer this. It feels to me that the closest you can get to simulating regular season football is a 2-minute meaningful drill.
Every team takes that very seriously
You
because
could
it's
tell it went
so
up a notch.
valuable. It's
Yes.
very valuable, and it's something that you won't get all the time. So
Right.
when you see 2 minutes, I don't care if it's preseason, scrimmage, whatever. 2-minute drill is taken very, very seriously.
Yeah, and you could tell both sides. Boy, the Rams had some guys. I know they left their first 2 teams in L.A. I mean, that's a smart move, I think.
Yeah.
But they had some guy, number 34 for them.
Oh, Tanner Ingles.
Yeah,
That dude is a heat-seeking missile.
If he gets cut, we need to get him.
And-
He gonna be fined a lot, but
I know he is, but you know what?
He loves some contact.
Here's what I love. We always say this in Cleveland. Who's our dog?
We don't have.
He's a dog.
Well, yeah, he is.
I don't know if he's going to make that roster. They're crazy
He
if they
has
release
to
him.
make it on at least a special teams role.
That's what a guy looked like to me that was on his last breath of oxygen. And he doesn't want to leave the party. I just loved his intensity. There were some times where I'm like, is someone from Cleveland going to knock this guy off his feet so he can back off a little bit?
He knocked 2 people out the game.
I know he did.
Braveheart and Pierre Strong. Both concussion protocols.
Strong ended up having a concussion, right?
Yeah.
Because I know he was in protocol.
Which was weird because he got knocked out. I seen the play that Tanner hit him. He got knocked out. He came back in, and then they was like,
you know, you don't have it. Yeah.
The spotter got him.
Yeah.
But I think in general, we all agree on Flacco for an A and a B+ for Dillon Gabriel. I did see a lot of poise against Philly. I did. I didn't see a guy that was a spotlit deer. We've seen that. We all know what that looks like. We all know what someone looks like, and they shouldn't be out there. They're not ready to be out there. I would never say that about Dillon in Philly. I thought there were times in that game, the Philly game, where he looked a little quick, which is obviously a byproduct of
tied to
nerves.
it, yeah.
But if I had to put him in the poised or rattled category against Philly, he would definitely have gone in the poised category for me. If it's just that simply black and white. There were some things I saw I didn't love. You're right about the feet. His footwork wasn't great. But in this game, my God, I mean, again, 3rd and 4th team. So we can't take much out of this. But he did what he was supposed to do. He took the necessary step forward. If he ends up being QB2, I have no problems with that.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no problems. I think he can be a serviceable quarterback in this league. Will there be times that he gets balls batted at the line of scrimmage?
Yeah.
Of course. Will there be times that we're screaming at our TVs on Sunday, he's too short? Yes, of course. But by and large, every quarterback has a deficiency. For Joe, it's the speed. For Dillon, it's the size. But I love his moxie. I love the speed in which he runs the offense. The 2-minute drill, he looked like he was in practice. He looked like he'd been there a million times. He had. You know, that's what happens when you play as many college football games as he has played. And he's played some big, meaningful, close and late games. And I thought he checked every box for me, B+. And I don't know if he's going to be 2. I think it sounds like Pickett's going to get the green light for week 2.
Yeah.
He'll probably be listed as QB2. My guess is that it will be Gabriel as QB3 and Shadur Sanders as QB4. So
When you look, real quick before we move on, when we look at what Gabriel did against the Rams, and when you go back and pull back the big picture on what Kevin Stefanski, at least to our knowledge, has said he always wanted in the quarterback. Play on time, play smart, get the offense in and out of things, and be
Don't give it
efficient.
up.
And don't give it up. Like those are kind of the basic characteristics of what Kevin Stefanski has said he wanted in a quarterback. What he did against LA fit all those characteristics. Like it to me, watching him and watching it back on the All-22, because me and G were talking about this on the postgame show, until you see the eye in the sky, man, you don't really know. It's really tough to see who was open. Did he miss somebody? Was there lanes to do X and Y? So you have to go back and kind of see it from that perspective, and it's one of the times I really wish we had access to NFL footage so we can go through and do some of that stuff here for you guys. Unfortunately, the NFL will sue the crap out of us, so we are not allowed to do that. That's the reason we don't. But watching Gabriel execute that second quarter confirmed to me as to why I understand, or at least I see what they saw in him in the draft to take him so much higher than the consensus was on Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, I'm with you. He did everything that I thought he could do. I watched him in the 2 games against Ohio State. Those are the 2 games I watched him very, very closely. It was weird because it was kind of a dichotomy. In the first game, I'm like, this guy is a witch. In the second game, when Ohio State was making a first down an impossibility, He looked like this guy isn't going to be an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, he looked overwhelmed.
He was overwhelmed.
They sacked him 7 or 8 times.
They were in his grill the entire. Now, I think that was just a case of the overwhelming talent disparity.
Yeah.
Ohio State should have won the first game.
Correct.
I understand coulda, shoulda, woulda, but they should have won that first game. But even in that first game, and even if it was a defeat for Oregon, he shined. He showed me that he could do it. And then I watched the playoff game, and I thought, God, I don't know that he's that good. I know somewhere, and then I watched him a couple of times in the regular season, here and there, never every snap, but enough to make the assessment that this guy could be an NFL quarterback. I think he's got the arm. I think he's mobile enough, and so I think. And by the way, for the cumulative grade, I would give him a B for the cumulative grade.
Same.
And that's because I gave him a B against Philly, a B plus in this one. I think it wasn't enough to curve it up to a B plus because that's almost an A. And, last week when, Earl gave him a C minus, I'm like, that's almost a D. You thought he played at a D level? I can't say that he's played at an A level in the preseason. So I'll give him a solid B cumulatively for his 2 preseason games. What do you have him at?
Probably B minus.
Oh, B minus?
Yeah.
So you thought his Philly game, I don't know what you gave him for the Philly game because
Probably like a C.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, like a C.
Okay. Wow,
because
that's
it's just the turnover. And I get that the Deontay Johnson interception one, that's on Deontay Johnson.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, he shouldn't have threw it.
Yeah,
So that's just a bad decision.
Yeah, I ding him hard for that too.
And the fumble, that's on him too, because your job is literally to put the ball in. Like the running back is just running to the gap with his hands up. Your job is to put the ball in there.
Yeah, it's almost like a pass.
And you kind of missed that.
Yeah.
So the reason I gave him a C
But
for
that's
that
fair. No,
is
that's fair.
because though you do those 2 turnovers in the regular season, the game's over. You're not winning that game. Very seldomly you're going to win that game.
I just thought he was accurate. He started on fire.
He did.
And he made some big third down throws.
He
and I thought,
really
wow,
did.
Okay, so, to me, a C is,
I had a B plus and a C plus, so I'm right in that high B minus, low B range.
I think we're all in the same area on everybody. All right, let's do another read, and then we can get on to Shadur Sanders' grade. And I'm sure that's where the fireworks will start.
I want to remind everybody that we did a post-game show for preseason games, and those post-game shows are going to continue into the regular season after every single game. The 2-minute warning starts. You'll be joined by Mikey McNuggets, G. Bush, and Earl DePearl. Come check out live reaction to the game. Super chat in, yell at us, cheer with us, cry with us. It'll be a good season.
Present theories, that kind of thing.
We don't live in theories.
No, we don't. We live in
reality.
Conspiracy theories.
You can still present them.
Fair.
Oh,
we are going to present a conspiracy theory in the next segment, and we're hopefully all going to dispel any seriousness to it. But we'll get to that in a sec.
Let's find out.
We'll do that after we evaluate Shedeur itself.
Yeah. Same thing. What do you grade him? 3 of 6, 5 sacks, I believe.
I give Shedeur a C minus, D plus for that performance. I understand that the overwhelming, the consensus is that, he didn't have the offensive line. But I went back and I watched some of those plays, and I'm gonna be honest with you.
Too.
Some of those plays, for fans, I don't know what y'all expectation is for how much time a quarterback should get in the pocket. Me, I try to go 3 to 4 seconds. The ball should be out.
4 now. You're living large if you can get 4.
Right. 3 to 4. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. 3 to 4 seconds. The ball has to be gone. And on some of those sacks that he had, it wasn't because the offensive line just got completely beat. Like, if the O-line got beat right off the bat, all right, it's hard to beat that. But some of those plays, that's when the bad habits that he had, the drifting came in. Instead of taking that drop and then hitching back up in that pocket and then throwing it, you kept drifting back. And then for an offensive tackle, he's thinking, I'm going to run you around. You're going to have to run the hoop. That's why they call it run the hoop. But if the quarterback keeps backing up, that's a straight shot for him. So that some of those sacks were on him. I think he just couldn't really get things going. I think what happened in that situation was that I believe the competitiveness in him came out. He's a true competitor. And I think what happened was he watched Dillon Gabriel go out there and light it up.
Yeah.
And he thought to himself, I got to do something to light it up
There's
as well.
something to that.
Exactly.
And I think, because in other games, it was You take because the biggest thing with him is, can he get the ball out of his hands, stop holding the ball, and stop drifting? In the Carolina game, he had some plays where he broke down and had to make something happen, and he did. But for the most part, he kind of played majority on time. Some people say he was late and missed some reads. Okay, that's fine. But at the end of the day, the ball was out of his hands. Right. He wasn't really worried about the pressure. And I just think in this game, like some of the things that you seen him do at Colorado came back. I think he suffers from PTSD. At Colorado, he never had an offensive line. So drifting back was his way of buying himself time to get the ball.
And you can do that in college.
Yeah, in the NFL, like you got to, if you want to buy yourself some time, you actually got to step up in the pocket. So that's just something that he has to work on. As far as we'll say the 2-minute stuff for later, but but right now, he never got his mojo. He never got it going, and I think he just kind of pressed a little too hard, and he just showed all his flaws.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that he did good in Carolina just kind of washed away because of his performance. And I get it, like. I would do the same thing if I was playing corner or safety and the other dude I'm battling got a pick or something, then I'm going to go out there and try to find me a pick too, so it might make me look bad. So I get why he did it, but it was just not a really good performance by him.
All right. Mike?
Yeah, Ty, you gave him a C-, D+, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're crazy. I'm sorry. This is going to piss people off, but I went back, watched it in real time. I watched the All-22. I watched Dan Orlovsky and Dion Lee on Twitter break down some of the All-22 footage.
Yeah, that was good.
And I don't know where the positive is. I don't know where you could take anything good out of that performance. Now I want to clarify all this by saying.
Does that mean you're giving an F?
Hold on, I'll get there. It's one preseason game. It's not the end of the world. None of this is the end-all, be-all.
No, but that's all we're judging him on. And by the way, you said it kind of takes away the Carolina game. I disagree with that.
And I do too. I don't think
he still did good things in the Carolina game, and I still hold on to those good things.
I do too.
I don't wash them out of my mind.
I do too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, let me correct that. Yeah, no, I didn't mean it like that. Like I mean, like some of the good stuff he built. Like some people,
you just didn't see it this time.
The inertia's gone.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like for me, I was excited. Like we just seen what he did in Carolina.
Right, I agree.
Let's see what he. And he's going up
like,
against guys that we said ain't going to probably make the roster. So I was like, oh, he should look head and shoulders above everybody else. And when he didn't.
And that's what developmental guys do, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a developmental baseball player. He'll have an 0 for 5 with 4 Ks. And the next day he might hit 3 home runs.
Exactly.
That's what we're dealing with.
I just want to clarify everything I'm about to say with it's one half of football in a preseason game with weird circumstances in a 4-person quarterback battle that he's playing with all. It's not the end of the world. Okay? It's not the end of the world.
Right.
But I give him an F. I'm sorry. I can't find. I went back and I tried, Tyvis. I tried really hard to find something to say, oh, maybe he was looking at this and that's why he was unable to escape the pressure.
You know why?
They went back and did 9 years of preseason tracking. 9 years.
Yeah.
There's only been one player in that span that's taken 5 sacks and 15 or fewer dropbacks, and that was Shedeur on Saturday.
Yeah.
The only player to ever take 5 sacks in that amount of time. Now you can say the offensive line sucked. Yeah, the offensive line wasn't great. I fully admit the offensive line.
I don't know that they
did not.
No, they.
Just let me give you the context of this because I do think this is important to the overall picture of how people are discussing this. 4 of the 5 offensive linemen Shedeur played with got cut yesterday, right?
Sure.
3 of those 5 that got cut were also in on Dillon Gabriel's 2-minute drive. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't that much of a different offensive line.
I agree.
Than it was before. And when you pull some context into some of the pressures Shedeur and Dillon faced, what Shedeur's knocks coming out of college, which was he holds onto the ball too long and drifts back, that came to fruition against LA. And if you pull up these comparison graphics real quick, I just want to give some context to the pressures these two faced. In the game against LA, Shedeur had an average time to throw of 5.13.
Yeah.
That is the highest.
Well, that's in
PFF
part,
tracks.
though, because of his scrambling.
Exactly. But
that's why it's that high.
That's why I'm giving context to all this.
Okay.
Just compared to Dillon, who had a 2.62. 5.13 is not necessarily bad, and 2.62 isn't necessarily good. It's just what happened. On their dropbacks, Shedeur faced pressure on 9 of his 11 dropbacks. Dillon on only 4 of his 19. So a lot of different pressure was faced in terms of how many pressures. However, when you look at the quick pressures versus the extended pressures, and you get ready to take the next one, Ant, Shedeur faced quick pressure on only 44% of his dropbacks. So of the 9 pressures, 4 were quick. To your point, Tyvis, they were getting beat right off the line immediately. Well, then, okay, what's Shedeur going to do? 5 of those 9 pressures came on when Shedeur stepped back in the pocket, drifted away from the offensive line and from the pocket. And when you go back and actually look at some of the All-22 screenshots, there were some pockets for Shedeur to be able to step into. And to your overall point, Tyvis, of he was trying to make a play out of nothing because he just saw what Dillon did. I'm not in his head. I don't know what he was trying to do, Jay. But there were little opportunities for quick completions, easy gains, quick routes, hot reads, and all that to get 2-3 yards on a play and set up a 2nd and 7 and just keep the offense on track. Instead, to me, it felt like he was trying to extend plays, trying to hit a home run to counter what we just saw from Dillon, and it just didn't work. And the whole offense didn't work in the second half. It wasn't just Shedeur, but you're the quarterback. I can't say, hey, we want to see more reps from you, Shedeur, but when you get those reps, now I'm going to complain that the guys you're playing with aren't up to par. Like, it doesn't work like that. You can't have it both ways. So I was disappointed in what I saw, but I'm also incredibly excited and optimistic about his future. It's one bad preseason game. It's not the end of the world.
I agree.
Yeah, I think an F is harsh, but the reason I think it makes sense is because you said, well, if you start baseline 0, you have to earn points, right? I mean, so I like some people say, well, you baseline started a C, and then I move you up or down. Well, there's 2 different ways of looking at it. I didn't see anything positive. I'm with you.
I did.
What did you see that was positive?
I think that they put more on his play. You seen him have more motions in there.
I know, but it was how he responded to it. I like, okay, that's on Kevin Stefanski. We gave you more, but he didn't handle it.
He did handle it because there was no pre-snap false starts or anything like that. Like before the snap, remember, a lot of people said pre-snap he struggled. Like that's identifying coverages, identifying blitzes. Carolina,
right.
Didn't he give up? No, that wasn't him.
No,
that was
he
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
But he had identifying where the blitzes come, identify what the defense is in, being able to handle motions in the plays. He executed that part. Like I don't think
okay.
that's
more about it than
that's
I
a
do.
big that's a big
I
piece.
just don't give.
That's a big piece.
I'll defer to you on that, Tyvis. You're way smarter than I am.
Yeah,
so if that's the
too.
case, then I'll bump him up. But
well,
yeah.
What I did was I thought that it was a D, but then I factored in something that I thought about after the game that I thought was a negative, and I didn't love his reaction to not being on the field for the fight. I disagree with that decision, and we're going to get to that in a second. I just didn't love his reaction to it.
So what part?
Well, his reaction after the game was, I was surprised, but if that's the way you're going to do it, okay. I thought there was a little bit of nonverbal communicative signs that it wasn't. He wasn't happy with it, and I get that he's a competitor. He wants to be out there. He should have been out there.
Yeah, he should have been.
He didn't know he was going to be out there. Now, I think Stefanski, in saying that playing him was part of the plan all along.
Who, Snoop?
Yeah, I think one of 2 things is going on. He's either making that up as he goes along, or why would you plan to play him?
I have no idea.
And I don't want to take all the. I don't want to.
I'll give you my theory.
We're going to get into that. I've got a theory on it too, and we're probably on the same page on that because it was what I wanted to see coming out of this preseason game. Mm-hmm. We got to see it because of what he did. But all that being said, why are you going to make a plan before the game to play a guy that you know is getting cut? You know he's getting cut.
I think I got a theory.
I do too. But my point is, he didn't tell the media he was going to do that.
No.
And he's been pretty transparent, which surprises me. He's been pretty transparent with how he was going to use his guys. And he clearly said that Joe was going to start 25 to 30 snaps, then Dillon Gabriel, then Shadur Sanders. He never made mention of Snoop playing. Mm-hmm. So when he came in the game, I was shocked. He was shocked.
I think all of us was.
Yeah. And I think when you're in that situation, and this is where I don't love the media, but you knew they were going to do this. Shadur, what was your response to being pulled? Well, he's an honest kid. He's going to tell you what he thinks.
Yeah.
I didn't love it. I thought I was going to go back in there. I was
powering up.
I was powering up.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to see what he could do in that 2-minute offense. Mm-hmm. But if I'm just grading him from what I saw on the field, it's got to be a D. He dropped back to throw 11 times.
Yep.
And 8 of those plays, a bad thing happened. Like that can't happen in any world ever, period. Mm-hmm. And I understand that, I read some stuff where folks were saying, well, he was out there with 4th and 5th stringers. I didn't know we had 5th stringers. I know at some positions you might have that many guys, like at wide receiver, you're going to have that many guys. But It's not like you have one starter.
But I got an issue with that when people say that.
Yeah, I do too.
My two issues with that is so is the Rams.
That's what I.
And my second issue.
That is so are you.
My second issue with that is Snoop was out there with that same Fleetwood.
Yeah.
Took it right down the
I just
and
think
got
it's
a
an
game with a
excuse.
field
Like,
goal.
so
I don't like that.
You're out there with who you're out there with. You can't do anything about that. But everybody was saying, well, he's out there with fourth and fifth stringers. What do you expect? Well, when do you see an NFL head coach put a fourth string quarterback out there with first and second teamers? It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
You were playing with guys who are rated as you were rated, number one.
Yeah.
It's the last preseason game, the last half, and you're playing against guys that are rated as you're rated.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody out there was a third or a fourth stringer.
Yeah.
Period.
I mean, a lot of them Rams got cut yesterday, too. So.
Yes, they did. And
More than half the team got cut. Yeah.
I mean, pretty much everybody on
Yes.
that flew to that game got cut. Yeah.
And you know what? Everybody that took the field for the Browns before the game knew they were playing against guys that were going to be selling insurance tomorrow.
Yeah.
Had you ever heard a dresser win in your life?
Never in my life.
Like,
I had to look him up Friday. I had to literally look up. And by the way, I mean, he wasn't awful. He wasn't great, but they had a chance to beat us. Yeah. They were leading late in the game. It took a last-second field goal from a second-string kicker to beat a team that said to their first and second teamers, stay home. And we played a number of starters.
Yeah.
And we played a lot of twos. And so that might give you a window into what kind of season we're looking at. Okay? But all of that being said, I'm just sticking on Shedeur. I'll give him a D- because I didn't, maybe you guys didn't see what I saw. I just thought there was some negative energy around him on the sidelines when he found out he wasn't going back in.
It's the competitive.
And you know what?
I'm
okay with that part of it.
Yeah.
But you got to hide it, man. The whole world is looking, and they're going to pick you apart.
But he wear his heart on his sleeve.
Yeah,
I know he
I'm with
does.
Tyvis on
That's
this
the
one.
problem.
And you know what? There are those that will tell you, I can't have a quarterback that does that.
That's
good or bad.
The last one we did, we ran him out of town, and he's
gone
back-to-back 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
And they love him down there.
They love him. Yeah. So, I mean, for me, an F, I thought an F a little bit harsh, but I just was looking for, I went back and I rewatched it because I thought maybe in the moment I missed some stuff. I went back and I rewatched all of his snaps, and I just thought, I was looking for something positive, you know, and I didn't see it. He ran himself into most of those sacks. Not all of them.
He drifted into
But
them
he
for
was
sure.
drifting hard. And we were told by some that the ball pat was not a problem. That's okay. A lot of guys have done that.
It's not a problem if you...
It's a problem if it becomes a problem.
Correct.
And one of the things that has been theorized with the ball tap is you're still thinking. You're not sure. Buys
That's
you a
not
second.
true. Cause
No, I've had quarterbacks tell me that.
Tom Brady was a ball patter, too.
Well, he was a ball patter, but in Brady's case, he had things so quickly figured out.
And that's where
he had time to do it.
That's where we're trying to get Shedeur to.
And that's why I cut Shedeur slack. And by the way,
What's his grade for the overall preseason? Because we didn't get to that.
For the overall, I think I'd probably give him a C+. You know, with this grade pulling it down more, because to me, if there's good and there's bad, I have to say this: which one is further on the spectrum? Are you closer to great or closer to horrible? And for me, he was closer to horrible in this than he was closer to great in his first. So, but again, overall, I think I can't remember the words. The words you used was something like, you know, I'm still very excited about his future.
I am, yeah.
Here's the way I look at him. He's a flyer. He's a developmental guy. And there's a chance he could develop into a quarterback for the NFL.
Yes.
I can't say I'm excited about him. I am excited about Dillon Gabriel. I think there might be something there.
Shedeur has all the intangibles to be good. He just got to put it together. I think.
What'd you think of his foot speed? I thought he looked slower in this game. I wonder too, how bad was the oblique?
That's a caveat that.
But you know what they say?
He
If
said,
you're on the field, you're judged as healthy.
Correct. He said after the game that it's a little tender. But
You know what? It looked it to me. There was one situation where
tender because he got sacked 5 times.
he spun and run. He did a spin and run to try to get out of it. And I just thought, wow, he looks a lot slower this week than he did last week. I didn't think he was fast against Philly, but I thought he had the ability to slide and move and buy an extra second. But when he tried to do that, he looked slower to me. So I don't know that he's got all the tools to be a successful starting quarterback in the NFL. We're going to find out whether it's here or somewhere else. these things play themselves out pretty well.
Yeah.
You know, however, he's a developmental guy, so there's hope. I don't know that there's excitement, but for me, there's hope that he can figure this out. And I think the best place for him for this year is to sit back, watch, and learn. You're going to get a chance.
Well,
be ready when
He's going to play this year. He's going to start games this year for the Browns.
I don't know that he
is.
will, and the reason I say that, I think the Browns are sending smoke screens with the carrying 4 quarterbacks. They're trying to get a draft pick for Kenny Pickett. That's what they're trying to do.
I don't think you can't because he didn't play.
Yeah.
They probably could have if he would have played in the preseason.
That's what I say. I say some say you can't keep him because he didn't play. I say, well, you can't get rid of him because he didn't play. So but I do think that they're listening to offers, and I think it's smart to hold him through week 1. Why? Every year in recent memory, there's a starting quarterback that goes out for the season in week 1.
I think they're gonna hold him longer than week 1.
They may if there's no starting quarterbacks
games.
that go down, then they keep him for week 2. But here's the thing:
he's gonna be here longer than week 2
and
too.
Maybe,
but he's gonna be here to like week 7.
Maybe if that's the case, then Shadur doesn't see the field.
I think
for Shadur to see the field, Kenny Pickett's got to be gone because who in their right mind right now?
No, he will be gone later on in the season, I believe.
Okay, at that point you might get it. Look, the average number of quarterbacks that a team uses in a season is between 2 and 3. We've used 5 and 4 the last 2 years.
Exactly.
That's
why I know he's going to play.
Yeah, you can look at that a bunch of different ways. You can look at that and say, well, because of that, you're less likely to do it again because it's not just an anomaly, it's an outlier. It's not a little over the average, it's a double the average. So if you regress to the mean, which usually happens when the sample size gets larger, you're more likely to use 3 quarterbacks this year than 4 and 5. Now, I'm not saying they won't use 4 or 5 because it's the Browns and anything can happen and all bets are off. But if they keep all 4, you got to get to a 4th quarterback. He's clearly 4. There's no argument. He's QB4. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry for those that think he's 2, 3, or he's not. He's QB4. Now, if you get into a situation where you're 1 and 6, hell yeah, put him in there.
I think that. How much time we got? We got to move to the next segment.
No, you good.
Okay, I think that, and this is what it is. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that I've listened enough that I think this is what it is. I believe that Shadur Sanders won't see the field until Kevin believes Shedeur Sanders is ready, whether that's this year or next year. He's not going to touch it. And I'm going to tell you why. I think Kevin –
That's smart, by the way.
I think Kevin likes Shadur.
I do too.
I think that he believes that he actually can be a good quarterback. However, Kevin – people forget the fact that – I keep saying this. Kevin – this is his 6th year as a head coach. Mm-hmm. He's made mistakes a bunch throughout his tenure here at Cleveland with quarterbacks. He had the Baker fallout. DTR looked terrible. Like, when it came to Deshaun looked terrible. When it came to the quarterback play, like, at times it was just horrible at times. So this fan base is mad at Kevin because they're saying all those quarterbacks and look how terrible they were. So they don't trust Kevin with Shadur.
Right.
Because of what he did previously. And that's fair. I get why y'all feel that way. However, I think Kevin is the type of guy that don't make the same mistakes twice. And what I mean by that is, if he puts either one, I keep saying, if Joe Flacco goes out there against Cincinnati and gets hurt, and we carry just 3, just say it's Joe, Dillon, and Shadur. Joe gets hurt, and the next week you got to start your quarterback against Baltimore. We seen that song and dance. DTR did the exact same thing.
Yeah,
he never was the same.
That was a disaster.
So I believe that's why they keep him 4. To get through that first part of that season, because he don't want to put them guys in that situation because he watched DTR just crumble and never really get it back.
And his career is now over.
Exactly.
In all likelihood.
So he is going to take however long he need to take to make sure that these 2 young guys is ready. So if we see him this year, great. If we don't, that's part of it. Like I just don't think he want to put them out there and be like, so they crumble again and be like a DTR. I think he got so much respect for them two guys that he's just literally going to take his time. And as fans, we mad about that because people want to see these two guys. But I think it's in their best interest. If Kevin say they ready, then let it be what it is.
I think the reason, and we're going to transition to this, and you might have to do a read in between, but I'll set it up with this. I think the reason we didn't see Shedeur in a 2-minute drive situation to potentially win the game was for Shedeur.
Oh, yeah.
It was to protect
do the
his
read.
psyche. And we can transition to our next topic there because that's what it is.
Yeah, guys, I want to remind everybody that this episode is presented by Yahoo Fantasy. Fantasy football is back, so fire up the group chat, get your draft board ready, and buckle up for a season filled with breakouts, busts, and all the overreactions that we live for, and it's all going down on Yahoo Fantasy. This year, UCSS is back playing on Yahoo Fantasy, and you should too, whether you're a first-timer or a veteran making your millionth league. To celebrate 28 years of fantasy greatness, Yahoo Fantasy is dropping 28 big new features over 28 days, giving you more ways to play, more ways to draft, and more ways to win. And it all begins on August 4th. So stay tuned and get started by creating or joining a Yahoo Fantasy Football League at yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. That's yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. And let's make this fantasy season the best one yet.
Quickly.
Scary Terry got paid.
Oh, good. I know you like that.
Bucks.
Your boy.
I did not see this until I made my statement. I threw it to the break. It moved 1 minute ago. At least on my feed it did. I just saw an article by Brad Crawford of CBS, and he's detailing Kevin Stefanski's decision not to play Shadur Sanders. It's for exactly the same reason that I was about to give. It's about development, and I think this was to all the fans and all the crazy noise. I don't concern myself with outside type of things, but I'm committed to his development.
We had the soundbite.
Yeah, he said.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. Do we have that
Yeah,
soundbite?
we do. I cut it for this thing.
If we have it, we might as well play it. So this is Kevin on his decision not to play. No, we don't have it.
Give me 2 seconds. Let me find it.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay.
Anyway,
it goes into. So I know a lot of people were like, why didn't he come in the and I did want to see him. I did
want to see him too. But
However,
I understand why they
keeping him in there can be detrimental, and I think it served two major masters while making that decision. Number one, what had we seen from Shedeur that led us to believe he was going to now take them down the field 60 yards?
I said the same thing, Jay.
Nothing. I mean, if I saw a little bit of a glimpse, get them back out there, let's go. But
the same thing.
You're forced to make real-time decisions that affect people's psyches and careers. As much as everyone was screaming for Shadur Sanders to get that 2-minute drive, what if he throws a pick six? What if he goes 3 and out? Or in this case, you're not going to punt because it's the game. What if he doesn't keep the ball rolling? And what had you seen to make you think that he was going to do that? So I think Kevin was protecting Shedeur from himself.
Yeah.
We've got a body of work. Let's put that in bubble wrap and let's go think about that. But here's the bigger reason. He's got a decision to make when it comes to his 53 that will dramatically impact games this season. And it's exactly what I talked about Friday. What do you want to see Friday? This is what I said. You weren't here. I want to see 12 drives that end on our 35-yard line.
Okay.
Or on the opposition's 35. Plus
I mean,
35.
you're playing the 3s and the 4s. You might as well.
And here's why I wanted to see that.
Kick.
I want 6 kicks from Dustin Hopkins, and I want 6 kicks from Schmidt. Who's my better kicker? And I'm going to use this game to figure it out. Because that might be one of the most important positions, and people are going to laugh at this. We finished dead last in the league last year in points scored, 16. We had the worst kicker in the league. I know it's football, and I know everybody thinks quarterback, running back, wide receiver. You leave a lot of points on the table with a kicker.
Yeah.
We almost lost that game yesterday because of our kicker.
Yeah.
Missed the field.
So
missed the
they're over there saying, you know what? Look, let's not make it any worse for Shedeur. Let's just cut bait right there.
It is what it is.
He's a developmental quarterback. We're not going to need him. Let's build his psyche up. We're not going to build him up if he goes out there and loses the game for us. At least with Huntley, this guy's a former Pro Bowler. I didn't agree with the decision that he was a Pro Bowler.
You can't say that with
no, I can't.
You can't say it with a straight
I can't. Look it up.
He got it.
Look it up.
He had 2 touchdowns and 3
Ty,
picks
you're
that
not
year.
the defensive MVP of the Rose Bowl because I think someone else played better.
Yes,
You are forever and always.
I mean, no,
and that's it. And I don't care. I don't care, Mike.
This is the
Mike,
biggest asterisk in the history of any resident.
Okay, but guess what? When he retires and you look at his page, Pro Bowler,
Fair.
I mean,
is what he's
Mike,
gonna say.
No, you're right, but it's just
even
such a
before I
joke.
could get that out of my mouth, I was saying I didn't agree with it, but he was a Pro Bowl.
Fair.
So
It's
here's what
technically
Kevin
correct.
Stefanski's thinking. This dude can go against insurance salesmen and get me in field goal range. He can do that. Why? I need to see if Schmidt can make a pressure kick. And he did it.
I know
he made the kick.
That's fair.
We are going to talk kickers, and I agree because I would cut Hopkins today, and I'll save the rest of it.
Oh, he's gone.
I'll save it.
No,
I'll save it.
Hopkins is gone.
We're going to
He's
do
gone.
that. I promise we'll get to that. But first, the Shedeur 2-minute drill thing. I hear everything you're saying. And wanting to protect. It's almost like a relief pitcher in baseball who just got shelled, and you're going to send him back out for another inning. I hear what you're saying.
Guys do it to punish them.
I get what you're saying. At the same time, how often can you truly replicate a 2-minute drill situation for a young developmental quarterback?
I agree.
They come
Mike,
around
what did
so
you see that made you think he could suddenly do it?
Whatever he showed me is more important than whatever the hell Tyler Huntley does. Because you knew you were cutting Tyler Huntley regardless.
Tyler Huntley served a purpose.
To get your kicker.
He got our
I
kicker
get
the
that.
pressure kick we needed to see him make.
I get that. But I think in a big scale picture here,
Yes.
I understand, and I just gave Shadur the worst grade of all three of us. Like, I know I saw nothing positive from that little stretch he played, but had he come and led a 2-minute drill, maybe we don't know. We cannot say with any conviction that he would
don't know.
or wouldn't have.
We
We have
don't
no
know.
idea.
All we have
if
is
he
the
comes
prior-
out, if he comes out and does that, then we're having a totally different
We are.
conversation
It erases
today.
some of the
and
negative.
It's a complete, to me,
But
just
what
a
if he
complete
doesn't?
waste.
What if he played exactly how he had played when he was in?
Then how much worse could his psyche get? He just had 5 sacks and 11 dropbacks and had 13,
here's how
14
much
yards.
worse. You had a chance to win the game, and you lost it for us. At least this way, and I know it's a preseason game,
You have
and nobody
everything.
cares.
You have everything to gain
but
and nothing to lose.
Just like Schmidt Schmidt doesn't care about preseason results. That kick was for a paycheck. That kick was for a job.
I get that, but when you're looking at this development of Shadur, which whether or not you agree with, you are invested in developing Shadur Sanders. You drafted him in the 5th round. Your job's to develop him. We saw Dillon run a 2-minute drill and operate it well.
Yes, well.
You cannot, like in all the preseason games they play, it's not like you could just say 2-minute drill, go against a live defense in a live game.
No.
Like those don't come around often.
I
So
get
when
it.
is there and it's
It's a very
right in your lap,
valuable.
it is
It's
incredibly
like I said at
valuable.
the beginning. It's
Very
as close as you can get to
And if it was
replicating the regular season.
If it was another guy that maybe was competing with Shedeur for a roster spot, if Huntley was, they drafted a 3rd rookie quarterback, fine, give it to him. But you knew you were cutting Huntley. There was no benefit other than trying to get a kick. And if you want to die in the hill, I hear you. I hear
to
you.
me,
but
that's
other
a
than
big
that,
enough reason.
there's no other reason that Shedeur shouldn't have been out there. There's no other reason. There's no reason.
By the way,
My theory
Yeah.
is that I believe
he had seen enough.
he definitely seen enough.
Yeah.
And I mean, he sees them all the time, so he knows like what he could do in 2 minutes. I think, to be honest with you, I believe Kevin Stefanski is one of those guys that will die on the fact that he's overall a good dude, right? He take care of people. Even when he shouldn't, he take care of his guys.
Yeah.
He protects him to a fault.
Right.
Okay.
He's not Bill Belichick who cut a guy on Christmas Day.
Right. With that being said, I think he looked at Snoop and said, listen, we going to cut you, but I'm going to give you one last chance to go out here because I respect you.
Get some tape for another team.
Get some tape, show that you can execute a 2-minute drive, and maybe somebody might pick you up.
But how much more tape does he need on Snoop? He's a Pro Bowler,
Ain't
right?
no-
He's got
listen,
a damn
ain't
Pro
no-
Bowl on
ain't
his
no
resume.
Connell just
I don't
got
buy
hurt.
that. I don't
He just
buy
got
that.
hurt. Then on top of that, I said to myself, we know a lot of these guys is going to get cut too. They might not never play another snap in the league again. So
give
them a win.
Yeah, give him
a chance to go out there and win. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean,
'Cause
I agree with you. Kevin Stefanski's a nice guy, but
He
I think
is.
Kevin Stefanski has one thing on his mind: finding the best 53 players for his football
Well,
team.
I feel like a lot of that was done before the game.
Not a kicker.
Not the kicker.
That's
fair.
Before we get to the rest
That's
of
fair.
By the way, what position scores more points than any other?
Kicker.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, though,
Let's get that right.
That's very fair.
Before we get to that,
That's
though,
my theory.
I want to ask you guys something on this, though. There was some national media members, like not just local, but like we're talking national, including some that we've had on the show,
Yeah.
say
Skip
that
Bayless.
Joe Thomas.
Skip. I don't know if Joe said this.
Joe said he said he don't understand what the
Oh, no, he's going to go in a different direction.
I'm going in a different
Oh.
direction. Justina Anderson, who's been on the show.
Yep.
We had Ocho Cinco and TJ Hushmanzada and Shannon Sharp.
Yep.
All say that they believe Stefanski intentionally set up Shedeur to fail in this game.
That's again.
Do you buy that?
Again, that's as laughable as all of the other conspiracy theories surrounding. Shadur Sanders. One of
But you know what, though? I understand
Skip
why.
Bayless did that too, by
I
the way.
can
know Skip, yeah.
understand why that happened, though. Like, why somebody would pull that. You know why?
That's what we said.
You know why would they do that? Because of the Baker thing, how it ended here. They kept sending him out there, and he knew he was hurt.
And not only did he keep sending him out there,
So it ain't
sending him out there without a tight
we
end.
we can't just pull it out of nowhere. Like, why people could come up with this?
that's fair. I mean, the Baker thing, he kept putting him out there without a tight end to chip, one of the best defensive ends in football.
And
Yeah.
James Hudson.
And Baker got with Hudson as his bodyguard.
So it's not. So when people say stuff like it ain't crazy,
Listen,
it's like I understand where it comes from.
I don't buy the Shedeur thing.
No,
any
I don't.
More than I buy
don't.
the Baker thing.
Ah.
Like I don't understand how Ivy League educated people kept saying, "Yep, let's keep going out there. No tight end on the right side. Let's."
I don't get it either.
I don't understand
get
that.
it either.
It doesn't make sense to me, but it happened. Now, if maybe someone from above had made the decision, we're moving on from Baker. We don't need to make Baker look great in his last game.
What if they don't play him?
Then don't play him.
Yeah.
I'm better with that. Don't send him out there to
Don't play
get
him.
rushed.
But at the same time,
But I
it
just don't
is
think-
partially Baker's fault too because he kept wanting to go out there.
Not only that, how about you change the protection?
At least chip him.
You can do
Chip
you
him.
can do that. You can change it. You can make calls
Slide.
at the line
Yeah.
where you
But I'm
bring the
just
tight
saying,
end in
I
motion.
bring that up to say I understand why people could
Okay,
feel
that's
like
fair.
it's not like he hasn't quote unquote sabotaged it, whether you believed or not.
Tyler,
he has
let me ask you this,
allegedly sabotaged.
you've
somebody
been in-
before.
Preseason games. You've been a guy who love you, Ty, but you've been cut before. So like you've
9
been on,
times.
You've been on the bubble.
Is that true?
Yeah.
9
You've been on the
times.
bubble. For anyone who says
Seattle, Cleveland, Indy, San Fran, Jets, Houston, Dallas, Denver, CFL.
so, for anyone who would say Ty,
I needed one more. I needed one more.
you have the Tom Brady reincarnation picture instead of Super Bowl rings. It's I was cut from.
Cut
But
9 times.
but Ty, there were people I saw online
That's a badge
saying
of honor. That means you were good enough to be.
Oh
brought
yeah,
in.
that's how my
That's-
agent said. He said, "Listen, people keep claiming you, people keep signing you."
That's
so
right.
Do you think that any of the players who were on the field, and you've been in the situation where you're fighting for a roster spot, you're fighting to put good tape on field.
Yeah.
There's no way that a player out there was intentionally not blocking or not doing what they're supposed to do.
Why
right?
would they do that? They're fighting for jobs
yeah.
too.
I'm just letting the former pros been in this situation
Yeah.
answer the question.
Somebody said
I
that.
hope
Answer the
a
question.
lot of people.
Said that the other players.
Yes, we got super chats on the post game show.
I want to sabotage him so badly that I'm going to get myself cut.
Yeah, I'm done with myself. This is it for me too.
Hey, Ole, you can get him. Ole.
I ain't never heard that.
No,
one.
that was that's a bridge too far.
Yeah.
So me, I think
Yeah.
all of them are a bridge too far.
So we just clarify that there's no way that these guys are
You
out
know,
there.
I'm competing for my own job
Yeah.
here, so and the thing is, even if I don't make this team, 31 other
Yep.
teams is watching this, so I can make a team or a practice squad, something. So you don't really want to put bad tape out there. Nobody, I've never heard of that.
even going because that one I don't.
If you're
that
gonna
one-
do something,
that-
try to
me,
get hurt. That's what you do. You try to get yourself
Yeah,
hurt
get
so
in the
you can
payment-
get paid.
Yeah, get in the payment plan. I think that first of all, I think all of these conspiracy theories are just illegitimate. I don't give any of them any credence whatsoever. The Browns drafting him to have him to set him up to fail with a 5th round pick. If he was an undrafted free agent, I might listen to that for 2 seconds instead of 1. But when you bring a guy in, with the exception of like some situations like Huntley, he wasn't making this team. They needed a healthy quarterback to run camp.
Yeah.
So they brought him in.
I mean, technically, they could have got rid of him after the first game.
They could have. They
but
absolutely could have.
Again, they
But-
got love and respect for him.
Yeah,
so
so
whatever.
let him go.
Shedeur
but-
got hurt versus Philly though. He didn't even play, so they
Oh,
needed Huntley
yeah,
in that
yeah,
second
yeah,
game.
that's
Yeah, no, they had to have him. I mean, they could have cut him before the last game if they wanted to, but what's the point? So for me, when I read that they're setting him up to fail, and the other one last week that we actually gave credence to because every time we talk about these, we breathe life into them. When have we done that with a 5th round draft pick? When?
GTR.
No, we didn't. We didn't talk about DTR to this extent. Not even
Yes,
close.
we did.
Are you nuts?
Yes,
Are you
we
nuts?
did.
I mean,
Bro, that's all we
He
do on
was
this show
the
is talk about
starting
Shadur Sanders.
quarterback.
Listen, we've got record numbers this month.
Yeah, because of Shedeur.
Yes.
1,000%.
Yes, but
So that's my point.
So, wait a minute.
What I'm saying is,
DCR was killing it in his preseason.
oh, we were singing.
Everybody
his praises,
was,
but
get rid of Josh Dobbs. We don't need him.
They did trade
and
Josh
they did.
Dobbs.
Exactly.
And they did.
So don't say we ain't talked about no backup because yes,
not-
we did.
we have. I'm saying
Not to
to
this much.
extent.
No, not
Oh
this
no.
much.
I mean,
No.
He's in every show.
Yeah, never mind.
So
yeah,
when
no.
I saw Skip and his video yesterday, I'm like, oh my God, I have PTSD. Post-traumatic skip.
It's Tebow skip syndrome.
I lived through this for 2 years with Tim Tebow. I lived through it. I'm not kidding you. This guy who I respect his sports takes
Skip
almost
Bayless.
as much as anyone. He would come in every morning with a straight face and make the argument that he was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL.
Tim Tebow.
Yes.
In college.
No.
With the Broncos.
With the Broncos. And they remember they made the playoffs that year and they were like 9-7 and they kept winning games at the very end and I've never seen anything like it, the phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
Our ratings, our overnight ratings, we can break it down minute by minute. Here's what the graph looked like. Tim Tebow. Other stuff.
Very similar to
Tim
us
Tebow.
with Shedeur right
Same
now.
thing. It's the same factor. I've lived this twice. Skip could not have been more wrong about Tim Tebow. And I was trying to push back against the Tim Tebow show. Every day I would say, what are we doing here, guys? We all see what he was 17 for 40, but they won the game. So he kept getting just enough to keep the flames going on Tim Tebow until he couldn't. And it was Denver's fault. They set him up to fail. They weren't running the right offense. This guy was so good in college. How can he not be good in the NFL? I don't know. Ask Archie Griffin. Ask a million players. How can they be so successful in college and not in the... There's a myriad of factors. When he went to the Jets, he's going to take the Jets to the playoffs. On and on and on. It was the same. You could watch it with your eyes and you could say, no, that's not what it looks like. I'm sorry, that's not it. But Skip insisted and insisted. So when I saw his video about criticizing Kevin Stefanski and get him out of there so he has a chance, it just took me right back to the Tim Tebow days. What in God's green earth did you see Saturday that makes you still think that the Browns are sabotaging this kid and they don't want him to succeed? It's the same nonsense that we discussed last week. Oh, yeah. Eric Dickerson comes out and says, I got a good source way up the food chain at the NFL, and he told me specifically all teams were called and told, do not draft him. We're going to teach him a lesson. Tyvis, does that happen in the NFL that you know?
Never heard of it. And even if he was like that type of guy, he was
draft
really
him.
that good, they would tell Roger Goodell, I'm drafting him.
That's what I said on Friday. It's a
You got me
meritocracy.
messed up.
Hey,
this
you
dude
can
is
tell the other 31
a
teams.
franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't care what you talking about. I'm
If they
drafting
saw
him.
it, they would have drafted him.
I see. It's people.
And
People
here-
that get drafted with that has domestic violence,
Right,
and
right.
DUIs and all that, and they still go in the first round. So you mean to tell me just because he said no draft, you think I'm gonna listen to that?
No.
no.
That is, to me, the most laughable of all of them.
Yeah, I don't-
that somebody would put out there a theory that all the teams were called. This is a good kid.
Exactly.
He's likable. You can't help but root for Shedeur Sanders.
Well, I tell you what, Shadur is not Shadur.
No,
Everybody loves Shadur.
it has
It's
nothing
his
to do with
fan
Shedeur.
base
Yeah,
Yes.
that people are starting to have the problem.
And you know what I said before we drafted him? If you draft him, you're drafting the circus.
Yeah, well.
Because with Shedeur is going to come a whole universe of planets that circle around Shedeur. But you don't just get Shedeur. You get Dion on a Monday after a Colorado win being asked questions, do you think that Kevin Stefanski is using your son properly? You're going to get that. And Dion's not one to hold fire, okay? So now do you want to start responding, if you're Kevin, to the head coach at Colorado, who's one of the greatest football players of all time?
Well, Kevin
do you want that? And there were
Kevin
a lot of
claims
teams that
he doesn't
said,
look at. He don't listen to that stuff.
guess what? You can claim that you don't.
They all hear it.
But
they
you hear it.
They hear
And here's the thing. If Kevin Stefanski, that I still think, I'll go down forever saying that the decision to draft Shadur Sanders was an owner decision.
I agree.
You can read the body language of the coach and the general manager
agree.
when they had to make the pick.
Yep. They said that the camera was off, but for the other 4 picks, it was on.
Right.
It's ironic
Yes.
to me.
So to me,
And plus, Shedeur sells tickets. He gonna sell tickets here. If the Browns went 0-16 and they announced our last game, we playing Shedeur Sanders, that stadium will sell out.
Look at the rating.
There were more Shedeur jerseys at the game on Saturday.
It was between him and Chubb. Him and Chubb. It was close.
No. You were there.
Yeah, it was close.
At least where I was sitting, there was more Shedeur jerseys than everyone else combined. Everyone else combined.
So it's a
I've seen a lot of
phenomenon.
24s.
And that's what I said. When you draft him, you're drafting a lot of unnecessary drama. We already lead the league in drama every year. We'll find a way to do it this year. We've already done it this year. Between Shedeur and
Miles.
And the Miles stuff was a mild distraction, but to me the bigger distraction was when you draft a guy highly and he can't sign a contract or get on the field. That's drama because you've done that 2 years in a row now. So you can always count on. I always say every year. They say I didn't have that on my bingo card. The Browns bingo card has 10,000 spaces because you have to put all the absurd things on there that you normally wouldn't with the regular team because they invite drama. They lead the league in drama. And they're leading the league in drama this year. And so why would you...
I wouldn't say they lead the league in drama.
This year or always?
This year.
I mean...
I don't know.
Micah Parsons, the Trey Hendrickson.
There's one player, there's one rookie that doesn't have his contract signed, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's ours.
Ain't nobody even talking about that.
No, because you know why? Because he was facing domestic violence charges until they went away. And now he is unsigned. Now this is a position that is so critical to success in today's NFL. It's more critical now than it was 5 years ago. We let go the most popular player in the franchise's last decade. We let him go. Mm-hmm. The guy that was supposed to come in and make us forget about him can't get his cleats on the grass.
Well, I don't know why they thought that. I don't know.
Well, no, when they drafted him, they thought he was going to make us forget about Nick Chubb. Why would you do it? Why would you do it?
Jay's right on this one.
And so
if he ran for 1,100 yards, we wouldn't be talking about Chubb.
It's kind of like Aaron Rodgers. When Aaron Rodgers was doing his tour, I'm like, stay away, guys, because guess what you get with Aaron Rodgers? You get the Thursday headline that he went on McAfee and said something stupid.
But they talking about you, though.
So? They've been talking about us for 30 years. What has that gotten us?
National attention, something we don't get.
No, we get a lot of it. Guess what?
We don't.
It all begins
Everybody
with a B.
talk about it all the time.
It's all bad attention.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I want to lead the league in good attention.
Well, if you want good attention, I'll just give you guys this. I saw it this morning. First Take led this morning with, what do you think?
Shedeur.
Yeah.
Sure they did. You know why? They're ratings whores.
That's what I'm saying.
I lived that. That's what I'm saying. I lived that for 3 years. I lived it. And that's what Stephen A. wasn't our regular Skip opponent during those years. We would bring in other guys. And week after week, he'd sit across from 5 different guys who would say, Skip, you're out of your tree. And Skip would give crazy reasons why Tim Tebow was going to be better than Tom Brady. He actually said that. and we would just sit there and go, what are we doing? And then the overnight ratings would come out, and we'd look at him and say, oh, my God.
Yeah.
People watch this crap. And that's why they're leading with Shedeur Sanders today. Why?
So when you say they don't get attention, they're getting plenty of it right now.
That's what they used to. They are now.
Oh, okay.
We always
now they're dead.
We always lead.
We
the
did
league
not last.
Guys, you know what I want to give some attention to?
Deshaun Watson.
Kickers.
Let's do it, Ant. Give us a read.
I was
before that.
mad. I even texted in the group chat.
Baker
about the
Mayfield.
kickers.
Bro, look it up. Look it up. Ask ChatGTP.
I ain't asking ChatGPT a thing.
Who leads the NFL in drama? I wonder what it would say.
Aaron Rodgers.
I wonder what it would say.
Ant, give us the read.
Well, I was feeling pretty dramatic, but before we get to the kickers, Guardians versus Rays tomorrow on WKYC. Coverage is starting at 6:30 tomorrow night. I know the Guardians are in a bit of a slump, and we're not going to get to them today with Joe Thomas coming on.
That's
Make sure
okay.
you watch the game tonight, and we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, they don't deserve any of our time.
Game
on
tomorrow,
today's
sorry.
show.
Yeah.
Watch tomorrow.
It's a give-a-thon, too. KYC give-a-thon.
Yes, it's a big night for really for the community because they're the ultimate winners in all of that. Okay, let's talk kickers, guys. I kind of talked a little earlier about what I feel. I think that I know it's a cap hit. This is why you don't give a kicker that had one good year a guaranteed 3-year contract. It is going to hurt the Browns, But I do not think you can trot this guy out there for another season. Am I wrong?
I have zero faith
I'm with you.
in Dustin Hopkins. When he went out for his first extra point,
Barely made it.
I was like, yeah, I don't have any confidence. He went out for the second one, and of course he shanked it.
Yeah.
With all due respect, I would send Dustin Hopkins to Mars right now. Like Andre Schmidt, signing off the streets. Get a guy from college. I don't care. I need somebody that I can trust more than Dustin Hopkins because if the Browns offense, whether it's Flacco, whether it's Pickett, whoever, they have a chance to be okay. I don't think it's going to be an explosive offense. You're going to need your kicker to make field goals on a consistent basis to be able to withstand yourself and give your defense a chance to win you games. And when you look at this Andre Schmidt guy, despite the fact his name is spelled maybe the weirdest Schmidt in the history of the world.
I've never seen it spelled that way.
SZMYT.
It's weird spelling.
I did a little digging on his background, and I'm not going to pretend to be an Andre Schmidt expert, but he won the Lou Groza Award, which is the nation's best kicker as a freshman at Syracuse. He led the UFL in field goals last year, so it's not like he doesn't have game experience on the pro level. I understand the UFL is not necessarily the NFL, but Bates, the Detroit Lions kicker, led the UFL, or it was at the XFL at the time, in points and kicks in 2023, and he's turned into one of the best kickers in the NFL.
Well, you know who's the best kicker in the NFL?
Brandon Aubrey.
Aubrey, former soccer player. Boswell.
Guy never played college football, never played high school football.
Who's that?
He was a soccer player.
Aubrey, yeah.
Yeah.
So
soccer player. So I don't care about the rest.
Yeah. So like,
I don't either.
they come from all different kinds of places.
You can kick. If someone brought a truck driver in for a tryout and he hit 30 of 30 from 50 yards, you have the job.
And the last thing I'll say.
I don't care if you didn't.
Last thing I'll say on Schmidt. I went to the game on Saturday, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
For pregame, the kickers had the field before everyone else takes the field.
Sure.
Tyvis. I saw him make a 62-yarder and said, I want him.
He did make a 62-yarder. Okay.
Now,
I didn't know he had that kind
there
of
was
leg.
no. He was kicking off a.
No, they always do that. Yeah, I get that. But still, he made it.
I saw it with these two eyes. I saw it.
Straight down the middle?
Yeah, well, for at least my angle, straight down the middle.
Yeah,
and with some room to clear. Once again, no line, little lower trajectory. I don't care. I saw him make a 62-yarder.
Yeah.
I'm in.
To me, I know that it's going to be much talked about, and I don't think this is a decision. I know that.
The only reason it's a decision is the money.
If he wasn't given the contract,
he been gone last year.
He's gone. He would have been gone last year. So they pigeonholed themselves with a bad kicker with a 3-year contract. That's called unnecessary drama.
Will you stop?
Throw that on the pile.
I know that's drama, but
dude,
you gotta stop.
What other NFL team has a kicker on their roster because they signed him to a 3-year guaranteed deal and he stinks?
Justin Tucker.
Well,
no, they're not. They don't have him
now, but
they don't have him.
He went off a cliff.
Isn't it funny though that?
Well, he went off a cliff in 2 ways.
Isn't it funny that last year
he went off the Deshaun Watson cliff?
Last year in the final preseason game, Cade York missed the extra point. We did a whole post-game show on it, and we were like, we have no faith. I mean, it was 2 years ago.
I would say that was
2 years.
2 years ago, and then fast forward and. We're now in a long enough period of UCSS going to a 4th football season.
Yeah,
they cut him. Yeah,
like before the 53.
Yeah, and then decided to trade for Dustin Hopkins in the first place.
Oh yeah, that is right.
But like we're now long enough that we see cycles repeat themselves, which is a testament.
I think
to
there's 9
UCSS.
former Browns kickers in the league.
There might be.
Look them up.
There might be.
Crazy.
I don't know how you trust Hopkins.
The thing.
I don't know how you trust him.
You can't because it's at this point you know that he's going to at least miss an extra point. Like. I don't know what's up with the guy. Like, how do you go from being
it's all mental.
money
It's all mental.
2 years ago? He was like that. We won so many games because of him.
I know.
And now this man
last year we lost games.
He is guaranteed to miss a kick in the game. Like, it's guaranteed.
If you're saying that, you can't have him on the roster then. You can't.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, you miss one kick, like one big kick, your brain never is the same again. I don't
it's
know
like
what
a putter.
it is.
It's like a putter. You get the yips, man, and you start thinking about missing. I've talked on the show before about being friends with Jay Feely, and I was fascinated by the psychology of a kicker. And I used to quiz him all the time.
We get Jay back on? We should actually get him back on.
We can absolutely get him back on. I've talked to him a million times about, so what does a miss do? And he goes, you have to be programmed to operate this way. It either puts 3 points on the board or it doesn't. And that's where it has to die. And the kickers that are mentally strong enough can bounce back from that miss. The kickers that aren't are thinking about their miss on their next kick. And Jay told me you are far more likely to miss a kick if you're thinking about one of these things, the results or the action. Like if you're thinking about, I missed my last kick because I didn't drive through the ball. Well, it's got to be about process. It's just like striking a golf ball. It's the process, and it has to be the same every time. And when you get this muscle involved, everything else falls in line after it.
Well, if that's
You
the
mess
case, then he can't. Like,
You got to be strong here.
he can't go back out there then.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's
yeah.
got to be gone.
I feel bad saying it, but like,
I do too.
I do too, because
you know
I
what?
think he's
He's
a
gonna
good
get his money.
dude.
yeah.
He's going to live a wonderful life from here on out. But
And the truth is with Hopkins, he had one good year before he came to Cleveland. He'd been a kicker since 2016, and he was kind of up and down.
remember
always,
what the knock on him was?
he couldn't hit long
He
field
didn't
goals.
have a, he didn't have a long leg.
And then he comes here in 2020.
makes him
8
all.
of 8 on 50-yard field.
And it was incredible. Could have been an All-Pro. I mean, he didn't make the All-Pro team. He was the third guy, the most votes that didn't make one of the first or second All-Team guys. But like last year, he missed 12 kicks.
Can't do it.
Can't miss
He
12
missed
kicks.
that many
It's
kicks
almost one.
last
It's almost one.
year.
And look at the difference between 23 and 24. I mean, he was 24 on extra points
He missed 3 kicks the whole year.
versus 12.
He missed that many
You just can't. And
Oh my
if he came into camp,
gosh.
Ty, and he was killing it in camp and was confident and looked confident in his preseason approaches to extra points and to field goals, then I'd say, all right, maybe we got 2023 Dustin
But
Hopkins back.
his
But
misses
he doesn't
or
look.
his makes barely make it.
That's
And
the
doesn't look
problem.
confident.
And you know what
Exactly.
Schmidt
That's
did?
the problem. Hit it right down,
Right
the,
down the
middle.
middle.
I said, watch this one go
Straight
right
down the
down
middle.
Broad Street.
Right.
Broadway. Boom.
I know
Right
what
down
you
the middle.
Let me
think.
see
I know
that
what I think.
again, Ant. Let me see just his
splits?
Yeah, let me see
It's-
the
it's
makes.
tough.
I'm telling you, it's a snowball. You miss one kick,
You're done.
and suddenly you're thinking all you can think about is your plant foot, where it's coming off the cleat.
Yep.
Now, let
what
me
the
see
wind
the
is
other
looking
one.
like. You don't focus on just driving it through. It happens in soccer with corner kicks and goal kicks. It happens in
that's the
football with field goals.
Can't have that.
No.
That's
Yeah.
crazy that he missed that.
It's a shame,
I
'cause
can't
I
even
don't- it's
recall
hard to
him.
come back from.
Like, I remember him missing. I didn't know it was that many.
Yeah.
Like, man.
Well, it became so commonplace we stopped forgetting, or we stopped remembering, oh, he missed a big kick because he missed a lot of those kicks.
yeah.
So
Yeah, if it's just one and you tend to stand out, you can remember it. We can't remember his misses because he had a lot of them.
yeah.
And some of them were in very big
You
spots.
can't. Yeah, you just can't. do
Remember how, like, this happened a lot. We're down 24-7. All of a sudden you score 2 touchdowns. You're like, hey, we're back in this. Then he missed the extra point on the
That's
second
exactly
touchdown.
what happened.
And you're like, oh,
That's
never mind.
exactly what
Because we're going to
happened.
need a field goal at some point. Yeah, that didn't
Yep.
happen either. So it was just so demoralizing. And I think, like, the guys know. I know they don't spend all day looking at the kickers, but the guys know too.
Yeah, we know.
You know who you
You
have
can
faith
sit
in
there,
and who you,
you-
don't.
you
Did
can-
you see the reaction when Schmidt made the kick?
Static.
They damn near carried him off the field on their shoulders. It was a preseason game, but you know what they were celebrating?
it was-
We got our guy.
Hey, look, Cade York did the exact same thing. So Schmidt's got to do it more, but
Yes.
it was a good start.
Listen, this is
Kenny
in no
York's
way
like
is this.
56 yards or something like that.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
won.
we
Against
won
Carolina.
to beat
Against
Baker.
Carolina.
But look, in no way is this an endorsement for Schmidt. In no way is this an endorsement.
It's just that he's not Hopkins.
He wins by default.
Yeah.
Because I know what it looks like and I know what it doesn't look like. And I can tell you it doesn't look like it when he's out there. When Hopkins is out there, I'm like, oh, I expect to miss this.
And your eye test tells you enough. And the next guy we're going to talk about, Ant, flies off the page when it comes to the eye test. So, Ant, let's do a read.
Yeah, I want to give him some love real quick before Joe Thomas joins us at 12:30. Guys, a reminder to follow us on all of our social media platforms, X, Instagram, TikTok. Steve Becker's son, Luke Becker, is great at providing extra content over there on TikTok and Instagram Reels. We post extra clips on TikTok or in Twitter all the time and X. So if you miss anything and you want to see the highlights, go to our social media. We appreciate it. And remember to like and subscribe.
Please do. All right, let's talk about him. Aiden Huntington.
What a dude.
Unbelievable. I love stories like this. It's every year you see one around the NFL where some guy comes in and you're like, yeah, no chance to make the team. When he was signed as a free agent, it didn't move the meter. We haven't talked about him one time.
Yeah.
But when you watch him play, you're like, wow, I don't think this guy's supposed to be very good, but he really flashes. He looks like he's really good. I was sent a reel over the weekend of is Baldy, I think, broke down a bunch of his plays. But I love Baldy's breakdowns. He's so
terrific.
good.
Yep.
But when you watch that, there was one play where his knee was touching the ground. His center of gravity is so low.
Yeah.
His cornering ability
Yeah.
is like it's freakish.
Yeah.
And he plays hard. He's got a high motor, and not saying he's going to get a lot of reps, but he's on the team, and this is a huge. You know it's a big deal when before cutdown day, the team makes an announcement that a guy has made the team
Head coach.
because they understand what that does to the locker room. And this is one of those stories that you can't help but love, right, Ty?
Yeah, I mean, because I lived it. I've been in that situation before where, you're an undrafted guy and, nobody expects much out of you and you fighting for your life. And it's all about the fact that you could come in there every day and you do something that's like, let me look at some more of that guy. Then you keep going and you build it, and it's like, all right, well, let me see what you do in the game. When you go in the game and you ball, it's like, okay. So then you get them vets, because the vets is the first person that, hey, come on over here. Come on over here. Like, hang out with us. So when you get in that feeling, it's like, okay, I'm really doing something.
Yeah.
And for him to finish the preseason the way he did with the back-to-back sacks, I was like, yeah.
Yep.
Like, it was wonderful, man. Like, it made me feel some type of way because, like, I understand exactly the emotions that he probably felt. And to have the head coach announce it post-game, like, right there to everybody in the media, that guy's making the team. Like, man, you could sleep real good that night, boy. Oh,
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
The best part about
What was it, Temple?
Tulane, but
Tulane.
he started at Kent State.
Yeah, that's
Then
right.
went to UL
Yeah.
Monroe, then went to Tulane. The
Lord.
knock on him coming out was he's undersized for a defensive tackle.
Which he is.
Which he is.
Yeah, that's fair.
However, my introduction to Aiden Huntington was on special teams. He was hands down, by far, unquestionably their best special teams performer throughout the preseason time. When you go back and watch some of the All-22, you see a dude wearing number 66, which is maybe the ugliest number for he's not a gunner, but like a special teams guy running down making tackles.
The last guy you expect to make the tackle.
And he's cutting off lanes to the outside, then making his way back inside. He's chasing down on defensive plays, running backs across the field and making sure they get out of bounds. Oh, and then by the way, he's their fullback. He's in on heavy personnel. He plays all three facets for the Browns. And when you're looking at guys on the back end of your roster that have value, this guy's going to be a day one starter on special teams. He might be their starting fullback in heavy personnel. And he's a guy that's going to give you some rotational depth at the interior defensive line, especially until Mike Hall's fully back. You can't ask for anything more. And in fact, he wears 66 is awesome. He actually showed some really nice pass rush moves, too, from the interior. That sack he had against L.A. was a little swim in and out to get to the quarterback before dress or win. I mean, these are the kind of things you love to see. And I went back and looked. I could be wrong on the exact number. Maybe I missed a guy, but I had 5 undrafted rookies who have made the Browns roster since Andrew Berry took over. And they're going to have 2 this year in Huntington, and I think 84 is going to end up making it too.
Gage Larvadan?
Larvadan, I believe, is going to end up making it too.
I think he is too. When the Tony Brown cut made me believe that he going to make it because Tony Brown was like the special teams ace, the gunner, and I feel like Gage probably made enough plays to be able to make that. So I'll be interested to see if he does.
This is where keeping 4 quarterbacks becomes interesting. It's a numbers game. You tend to have a template for how many safeties you can keep, how many defensive linemen you can keep. You know, when you keep 11 defensive linemen, and that's what I'm sure that's what Schwartz is going to argue for. He loves that rotational depth, keep them fresh in and out. It's really, really hard to keep 4 quarterbacks. However, when you have a guy like this, it makes it a little bit easier because he doesn't fill one role as a starter, maybe special teams, he'll be a starter.
He's definitely starting on special teams.
You don't have the luxury, typically, of carrying 4 quarterbacks or an extra wide receiver or whatever.
Yeah,
unless you got a guy like this who's kind of a Swiss Army knife. You can plug him in a lot of different places. That helps. And again, I don't know that they intend to carry 4 quarterbacks for the entire season. I don't think that's ever been done.
Have they been carrying 5 safeties and 6 corners for the past few years?
I believe they have, yeah.
So they
But
only
it's 10 D
And you want that.
but
he's going to want 11.
You don't need 5. You can keep 4 safeties.
Yeah.
And you probably can keep 5.
No, you can, but you'd like to have 5. I think
well,
you'd like to have 5.
but
You'd like to have 100 guys. I get it. I get it.
I think you make the cut at safety, so you only keep 4, and then at corner you want to have 6, but is there 6 corners?
No,
no,
it's not right now.
Because at some point they all become a guy, and if they're just a guy,
I'm sitting there
you don't have to carry them because you can just go work the waiver wire. Or
if
whatever.
you look at the corners, Cam, Genu, and Denzel.
It's locked.
Well, I would say Cam is locked.
Harden's going to be on the team too.
Yeah.
Harden, but you got rid of the special teams ace,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
Well, I think another.
I mean, I don't, after that, what do you?
The next person is whoever they get in the waiver wire.
Probably.
Or
Probably, yeah.
Or yeah, I think he's not on this roster.
But I don't see them keeping 6 is my
but
thing.
Another
they only
spot,
gonna get 5.
Another spot they could look to make a little adjustment is if Larverdan does make the roster.
I
right?
think he will.
And I believe he will.
I think he'll be the
he will.
6th
I think he's going to make the roster too.
They had DeAndre Carter as essentially a lock as their bona fide return guy. And I know it's your guy, Ty, but do you have to keep Larverdan and DC?
Is Larverdan a returner?
Yes. So I think Carter could be
I
a
don't
situation.
think you have the luxury of keeping both.
Well, and
I don't.
that's my question to maybe that's where the 4th quarterback slot comes from if you're
question
gung-ho on a
is,
cornerback.
This is the question that comes down to between those two. Which one of them can they cut and bring back on practice squad? Which one of them can they cut and think that they will clear waivers?
But here's the thing: if you think they're going to clear waivers, are they any good?
That's fair.
I mean,
So there's probably a bigger pool to select from guys that won't make other teams that you can go and raid once
and they have,
cuts happen.
They have the 2nd waiver wire claim, so they're
Yes.
just like the draft order.
Yes.
Tennessee's number 1, and then
Well, you can't cut the
Browns
guy
number
and
2.
claim your own guy.
No, I'm just saying when they're looking at other teams.
Oh
after the
yeah.
cuts get
Oh yeah.
made,
No, they gonna get.
they're going to definitely pick up.
They'll
Definitely
find
pick
some
up a
talent.
cornerback.
Oh, yeah.
There always is, because they always say it's not just the 90 guys you have here in camp. It's all the other guys, 40 almost from every team that's going to be out of work. There's talent out there that will be released. The thing I love about this kid is,
Huntington.
yeah, what I love about him is we've talked about before how when the Rams gave away so much draft capital, usually a couple things happen. First of all, you don't always get the mother lode. You don't always win the Super Bowl when you make the Super Bowl trade.
Yeah.
They did. The other thing that has to happen for you to stay at the upper half of the talent cycle, you have to draft and sign at an incredible level. When you find a Puka Nacua in the 3rd round, and Willers Williams, 5th
They're
or 6th?
both 5th rounds.
Okay, 5th rounds. Like I thought, okay.
Kyron Williams went in the 5th round.
I thought
I'll
Nacua
double
went
check.
earlier.
No, Nakua was
Okay,
definitely
well,
5th. I'll double check on.
I mean,
I think Kyron was 3rd.
so that's how you do this. And Andrew Berry has drafted guys that 1 year later, 2 years later have not worked out. We knew that. We knew in about 12 seconds that Anthony Schwartz was not an NFL wide receiver because he was the 3rd round pick. He got time and time again. He got tries. Eventually, you cut ties with them. When you find a guy like this, a diamond in the rough, it buys you a little equity with the fans.
yeah, Kyron 5th round pick.
It's incredible.
That's crazy.
And where was Nacua? Was Nacua also
I'm
a 5th round?
99% sure. I'll
God,
double
I thought
check.
Nacua was a 3rd round.
I thought one of them was a 3rd round.
Yeah, I mean, if they both went in the 5th round,
We
that's the
stink.
mother load of all draft.
5th round. Yeah, both 5th
2
rounders.
5th round
Two
picks.
5th rounders, yeah.
And they're not just good. They didn't make your team. They're Pro
They're,
Bowlers.
they're legit good.
Like, okay,
How
so
did they
we need
pull
some of
that?
those.
They got
That's
it.
why Andrew Berry, probably nobody happier than Andrew Berry about this. He probably told Kevin after the game, announce he's making a team. Tell him. I found him.
Well, so
That's
if Larverdan does make it, that will give him 2 undrafted free agents that
Yeah.
make the team. It'll be the 2nd time in 6 years.
if he
that 2
doesn't tie, why
undrafted-
wouldn't he make it?
Why wouldn't he make it?
Yeah.
Because they probably think they can get him back on P Squad.
Oh, okay. So, like,
and if you're on
his
P Squad,
his
you can-
game is good enough to make the an NFL roster.
I believe so.
Yeah, I saw a lot of things I really
Yeah.
liked too.
I mean, he's a developmental guy.
Sure,
it's not
but-
like he's gonna come in and be your wide
That's
receiver
what the
too.
Browns do. We develop guys.
You need
It
to
should
stop.
work out
You
fine.
need to stop.
It should be
They gotta
fine.
listen. They gotta change the narrative in some way.
Yeah. It's really hard to do it twice because they changed it once a couple years ago. And now they're right back in that same hole. So you got to
If they draft picks do what they supposed to do,
you could be fine.
yeah.
Were you surprised real quick by any of the other roster cuts yesterday of the
No,
initial round?
nothing they did yesterday surprised me
okay.
one bit. I wanted to ask you this while we have you here. And, now it's hindsight's 2020, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted Travion Henderson before the draft. I thought he was better than Judkin. I thought he was going to have a better NFL career. He may not.
Mm-hmm.
But what we know so far, it's impossible to say that they got that right. Because Travion Henderson has done everything and more that you would have wanted him to do.
Right.
His first NFL touch went 100. I didn't see that coming.
I mean, you knew he was fast.
I knew he was fast, but I mean, come on.
I didn't know he was a returner.
You remember Michael Wiley?
Yeah.
Okay, so before your time, but
Yeah.
I was covering the Buckeyes there. Their first game of the year, his first college football game. I think he touched the ball 4 times and scored 3 touchdowns. Opening kickoff, touchdown. First pass, 80-yarder, touchdown. It was incredible. And, you just don't expect that a guy's going to come in and make that kind of a splash.
Yeah.
Henderson has been that guy in New England.
We knew that he was fast. We knew he was explosive. So, that doesn't shock me. I still understand.
Do you think they got it right, though, with talent overall? Judkins still the better draft pick?
He fits more what they want to do.
Okay.
The only knock on Travion is that can he physically take that?
That's what I was worried about too.
He didn't do it in college. He got knocked out.
He was hurt
two
a lot.
seasons.
Yeah,
two
he was
seasons
hurt
in
a
a row.
lot.
He didn't make it. So I think the Browns looked at it as we need us an every down back.
Yeah.
The physical guy. Because the home run hitter, whether you like it or not, they look at Jerome Ford as that. Whether you believe it or agree with it or not, he does make the explosive
with the
plays.
Guardians home run lineup.
Just saying. I'm just saying.
How many's already assessed, by the way?
Don't do that.
Not enough.
The
Not
way
enough.
we playing right now,
Not enough.
he need to take this opportunity to go ahead.
I know we're not
lead
talking about the
7.
Guardians, but they have thrown in the towel.
Yes. Well,
they have quit.
As Jason would say, they told you what it was when they traded Shane Bieber.
Yeah.
And I agree with
Who,
him.
by the way, looked like Cy
He
Young
looked
Friday night.
awesome on Friday.
Yeah, but you know what? It's still the right move because he wasn't enough to get us over the hump.
Yeah.
This team is many pieces.
But it would have made me feel better.
And me too.
If I would have seen our starting pitcher give up 1 earned run, 6 innings with 9 strikeouts.
But he walks in September. He's done.
Yeah.
He has the ability.
He got the option.
No, he has the option.
He think look what we did for him.
We gave him $15 million to rehab. That's what we paid him. That's what we did.
You think he'd walk away from us?
Yes.
Of course he would. He wouldn't walk away. He would run away. By the way, Jose's been here a decade. For the first time, I'm seeing cracks in his demeanor. He showed real frustration over the weekend with the way his team is playing and how they are performing.
Is he the best guardian or the best guardian / Indian?
Ever?
Not ever, but he's in the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know the
Well, I'll put it
I
into
don't know the
context.
older
He just
guys.
broke the record for the most multi-homer games by a Cleveland baseball player, Indians or Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He did it in, I think, 13 seasons. He broke Albert Bell's record. Albert Bell did it in like 7.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. Dang.
But he's the most loyal. He
Yeah.
decided he wanted to stay here and take $90 million less than going to Toronto.
Oh, I said, wasn't it the Blue Jays? Him and
Yeah,
Shane,
Blue Jays,
him,
90
Shane,
mil.
and
Oh, they got all of them.
Jimenez would be. They be
Jimenez,
kicking
Miles
it.
Straw.
Miles, they be all kicking it.
They got all of them.
Yeah.
All right. Still no Joe in the queue?
We still don't have Joe, but
All right.
we have like 25 super chats, guys. So I'm going to start getting
They
through
about
these
to
super
cuss
chats.
us
And we'll
out.
continue
Yeah,
to
oh, here we go.
They're
Get ready.
Cuss us out.
Get ready.
Y'all ready?
Nope.
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
hear them.
First one from Eddie. Eddie Everhart, is it possible that Stefanski pulled Sanders as a discipline for his body language? Who are some veterans that you think that they could bring in? Love you guys.
No, I
No.
didn't see any negative body language when he was playing. So he wouldn't have made I'm telling you, I think he made that decision to save himself from himself.
I hate the decision, but I don't think it's anything to do with body language.
Yeah, I don't either.
I didn't mind his body language, to be honest.
What, after he got pulled?
Yeah. After
I
he
mean,
got
I
pulled.
understand
I-
why.
yeah.
I understand it.
Oh, I totally understand it,
Yeah.
but you got to keep it in check.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
That's
his guys would tell him.
that's something he got to learn.
Yeah.
Cameras is always watching, so you got to
aren't
keep
kidding.
it. But yeah, I understand it.
All right, what else you got?
1 second, I'm getting Joe ready.
Oh, we
Joe's
got
in.
Joe.
Okay.
Perfect. Perfect. So that means if we'll hold Joe, and then we'll just go into OT with Super Chat.
Yeah,
So-
because I hate to cut Joe's time
we
short
get when Joe
to
Thomas,
read.
when the Hall of Famer comes on with us, we're going to make sure
we
get
gotta
all of Joe
treat
Thomas.
him like the Hall of Famer that he is.
Yes.
I really enjoy listening to Chris and Joe on the preseason games.
I thought when,
really
when
do.
they had Andrew Barry in the booth,
Yeah.
that was an awesome little insight. I know Barry's not going to give you everything, but
No, but
right.
it was good. It was good. We welcome to the show Hall of Famer Joe Thomas.
Real quick, before we
Oh,
get
we gotta
Joe
read?
in, I got to read here, guys.
okay.
August 26th, which is tomorrow, is FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP or eyeing a long shot division winner, or you're just ready to crown the Super Bowl champ a week before it starts, this is your moment. So visit the FanDuel app today and start planning for your future bets now. Because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. Now we're bringing in Hall of Famer Joe Thomas.
Welcome, Joe.
what's up, Joe?
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you?
Hey, you did great work on the preseason. I love listening to you and Chris. Great insight, really good listen. I have a question for you. We had you on after the draft, and you made a comment about the quarterbacks and how they are analyzed. You said, and this really stuck with us, we've repeated it a million times, we're going to find out, and you usually find out really quickly what you have at quarterback. What did you find out this preseason?
Well, I think that the evaluations that the Browns made for Dillon Gabriel and for Shedeur Sanders were spot on. I think that right now Dillon Gabriel is more ready to step into a true NFL game to be able to lead his team. I don't think anybody in Berea wants that to happen because clearly Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett are more ready right now to be able to give this offense the best chance of success. But if something were to happen with those two guys and you weren't going to go to that next quarterback, I think Dillon Gabriel has showed that he's much more able to see the NFL defense and to handle an entire playbook and to deliver the football on time and on the money consistently. However, Shadur Sanders, just like a lot of people talked about before the draft, is a big-time playmaker with a high ceiling. He's got a lot to learn, and we saw that against the Rams. But he's still an interesting project, and both of those guys are developing quite nicely. And I think that because they both had good stretches in the preseason, there's a lot to be excited about. But I think there was some mistakes for both quarterbacks, like you'd expect from a rookie. So I think we're kind of in the same spot as far as evaluation goes before training camp started. And I think everybody in Berea is really happy with where those guys are because they've developed nicely. They've showed their skills, but they've also showed us that they've got a lot of work to do.
Joe, how confident are you in the fact that we potentially will see both of the rookies this year? Because this fan base feels that you need to have answers on those two. Do you think we see both of them, even though maybe one of them or the two of them might not be ready for the NFL just yet?
I think there's a chance we see one of them. I think there's probably a strong chance. You heard Jimmy Haslam talk about that one of the things they want to find out this year is what they're going to do with those 2 first-round picks next year, specifically at the quarterback position. So that remains to be seen because it'll depend on how the season goes. I think that everybody knows the beginning of the season, the first 6 or so games are going to be pretty tough. Some call it a murderer's row. But once the Browns, if they get to a situation where they're not in playoff contention anymore, I think that's when they would go to those rookies to give them valuable reps, opportunity to showcase their skills and see where the development process is. But right now, I don't think anybody in Berea is thinking about that because they're thinking about, okay, how far can Joe Flacco and this offense take us? And there's hope that they're competitive all the way through the end of the season. But we all know that they've got a really tough schedule and things happen. And sometimes you find yourself midway later in the season where you're kind of on the outside of the playoff hunt looking in. And I think at that point, they're going to give the opportunity to certainly one of those young quarterbacks to showcase their stuff. And so that's why it's really important for both those guys to continue to grow and develop and do whatever they can to put their best foot forward to prove to the coaching staff that they should be that guy that gets that first opportunity if there is a situation when they want to move off of Flacco or Kenny Pickett and start evaluating those guys for next season.
Joe, you and Chris did a good job kind of detailing during the preseason game against LA how Shedeur was kind of drifting back in the pocket at times. And I'm curious from an offensive lineman perspective, when a quarterback does drift instead of necessarily step up in the pocket, how does that change what the tackles and the guards have to do to ensure he has, I don't want to say a clean alley to step into, but how does it change like the angles from an offensive line perspective when the quarterback isn't necessarily on his spot where you anticipate him being?
So it's really tough because as a tackle, we're blocking for a spot that's about 9 yards behind the center because that's where we're being told and we're being coached the quarterback's going to put his back foot and then he's going to start to step up and he's going to climb in the pocket as he goes through his progressions and his reads. One of the things that was a problem and a bad habit for Shedeur in college was the fact that he did drop back pretty deep, which is okay if you step up, but he tends to drift, and the way he likes to escape the pocket is through the back of the pocket instead of stepping up and trying to find space maybe between the tackle and the guard or the guards and the center. And that's a problem, and it showed its face against the Rams. And once the defensive end knows, hey, if I can just rush to a spot that's about 11 yards deep, that's where the quarterback's going to end up being. As a tackle, it's really, really difficult because what you would have to do to be able to take away that spot from a defensive end is now you have to set deeper and wider. So you basically have to overset the guy, which allows them an easy rush to the inside, or it also makes you softer because now you're going faster backwards. So your momentum is even going further and faster backwards. So it does make you soft and susceptible to a bull rush. So you really don't want to change what you're doing like in the middle of the game, because what should happen is the quarterback should change what they're doing. They should be stepping up. They should have that awareness, and they should get that feedback from the sideline like, hey, you can't keep backing up because you're just going to keep getting sacked. There's no way you can escape it. The only time I've seen throughout my career where it's okay for that quarterback to stay deep like that, and then the offensive line coach coordinator will say, hey, I want you to overset, I want you to set deep, because our quarterback's going to set up really deep, but you know what? He's a fantastic athlete. So Kevin Schaefer, who was the offensive tackle, he was the left tackle before I got here in Cleveland, he played for Michael Vick in Atlanta, and they used to run certain plays that were called where, hey, we want you to overset, we want you to set deep, because we want that defensive end to think he's got that sack. And now we got Michael Vick running around in space. Shadur Sanders is not the speedster that Michael Vick is, so he's not going to be able to evade the rush at that depth. And so those guys on defense, they watch film. There's coaches in the boxes telling the guys in the sideline, hey, their quarterback is dropping deep, and he's getting deeper as the play goes on. So now those defensive ends are changing their angle, their rush. And so it becomes a bad thing that's just snowballing and getting worse and worse. And we saw that with, I think, 5 sacks that Shedeur took in the game. He just kept backing up and kept making it worse rather than making that adjustment to climb in the pocket.
Great insight. Joe, the big talker after the game, I think, was the fact that Kevin Stefanski decided to go with a guy on that final drive that he knew wasn't going to be on the roster instead of Shadur Sanders. My theory was he was trying to save Shadur from more damage. And also, I think he really wanted to get a look at Schmidt, who has a chance to make this team. Let's see if we can get him in position and try a pressure kick at the end of the game to win. Am I wrong on either of those counts? Why do you think? I know we all wanted to see him. I wanted to see him. Why do you think Kevin made that decision?
Bingo. You hit the nail on the head right there. And I said it on the broadcast. I said, oh, man, I wish we would get an opportunity to see Shedeur one more time in that 2-minute scenario. Dillon Gabriel, earlier in the game, at the end of the first half, he had a couple bad plays, a couple misfires. They gave him an opportunity to go out in a 2-minute drive. He performed fantastic. He bounced back from a couple bad plays, and he took the team right down the field, scored a touchdown. It was a great drive. It was probably his best drive of the season, and it gave a lot of Browns fans a lot of hope and confidence and excitement in Dillon Gabriel, because that's who we want him to be. With Shedeur, I think Kevin did a good job of just kind of reading the situation, reading the frustration and the body language on the sideline, and saying, hey, it's really bad right now, and I don't see that he's going to be able to pull himself out. So I don't want to put him in another situation where he goes out there in the 2-minute drive and gets himself hurt, or plays even worse than he's already played, puts some of the other players in a bad situation, because he hasn't shown yet that he's going to make that change and not start stepping up in the pocket. And so I think Kevin Stefanski and the Browns have done a great job in protecting these quarterbacks in spite of widespread national criticism from some people about how they're handling these players. But they've been very consistent about saying, hey, these are developmental coaches, or these are developmental quarterbacks. We're doing what's best for them and for the team for the long term. We're not treating either one of these guys special, like as if they're our franchise quarterback right now. We're going to give them the same treatment that we would a developmental quarterback that we drafted in the middle rounds, because that's how we see them, and that's how we think that they're going to develop the best. And I agree with that. And I think it was the right move. He wanted to see his kicker, give him an opportunity, especially with Dustin Hopkins' struggles throughout last year and then this preseason. And he didn't want Shedeur to go out and ruin his confidence any more than it did and put anybody in harm's way. And so I think it was the right decision. Although us as fans, we wanted to see him out there one more time. We had this glimmer of hope that he was going to be able to turn it around. But I think that was a little bit unrealistic, maybe for me as a eternal optimist fan, to think that all of a sudden, after what we'd seen, he was just going to flip the script and change things around and become the quarterback that we saw earlier in the season against Carolina.
Joe, you bring up him against Carolina. Do you think the competitor in him led to the performance he had? Reason I say that is, against Carolina, he was the starting quarterback. You know, he went out there first. He did what he did. In this situation, Dillon Gabriel went out first, had a play incredible, Do you think he felt he needed to match what Dillon Gabriel did, and that's why he pushed so hard?
I think one of the things that Shedeur does best, his best attributes, is he is a competitor. He's a gamer. He's a guy that rises to the occasion when the stakes are the highest, which that usually works really well. But sometimes I think it can work the opposite for you when you are such a competitor, because you so badly want to go out there and make the big throw, make the big play, and you believe maybe in yourself more than you should a little bit sometimes, especially your scrambling ability, and your autopilot takes over in those situations instead of the training that you've had since you've got to Cleveland. And unfortunately, he's had a lot more coaching and a lot more experience outside of Cleveland than he has here in Cleveland with the Browns. And so I think Kevin Stefanski wisely realized that he's reverting back to the years and years of training and habits that he's had before he got here. And it's that drifting in the pocket. And it's just going to continue because he does so badly want to make that big play. And he does want to throw the football down the field and take his team down and change the narrative about what had been happening there. But I think that's just something that comes with more experience. And that's why the Browns have been so patient with him, understanding that sometimes what makes you the best also is the chink in your armor. And it's also the thing that you're going to have to work the hardest, just overcoming some of those bad habits that you have because of your superpower as a gamer and as a competitor, as a guy that wants to win so badly.
Joe, we saw you in joint practices in Carolina working alongside DeJuan Jones and the rest of the Browns offensive line. As we get ready for week one now, and it's the real week one, not any preseason, not any joint practices, the real action. How confident are you in this Browns offensive line unit to keep Joe Flacco or whoever else is under center upright with a clean jersey come the real bullets flying?
I think they're a really good offensive line. I think their specialty is going to be running the football, and I think that's what the Browns and Stefanski are going to lean into, and I think that fits with this version of the Browns with a great defense, great defensive line, veteran quarterback, just getting back to that outside zone, the pin pull concepts, just ground and pound. I think pass protection, they're going to be really solid. I think DeJuan is making good strides, but he still has a lot of room to grow out there playing left tackle, especially as he's transitioning from right tackle. But I've got a lot of confidence that this offensive line is going to be really, really sound in pass protection and give Flacco the time that he needs to be able to deliver the football when they do decide to throw it.
You mentioned the kicker. It's a cap hit if you keep Dustin Hopkins. Fans don't want to hear about that. You trot kickers out at the end of games. Oftentimes it's in the balance. You want a kicker that you can believe in. Has Dustin Hopkins done enough, in your view, to remain the kicker of the Cleveland Browns?
Good question. It's all about what are the alternative options. You know, it's not like Phil Dawson from 15 years ago is just sitting at home waiting for the call, because I mean, being a kicker in the NFL is a really tough job. It's a really important job. It's underappreciated. Everybody expects they're just going to go out there and nail it every time they have an opportunity to go kick the game-winning field goal, but that's just not the reality of the situation. And so the Browns would never say that they're nervous, but obviously empirical data from last year and this year has shown so far that Dustin Hopkins is struggling mentally with that side of it, which as a kicker, that's everything. It's like being a golfer, right? If you've got a little bit of a hitch in your swing, just like if you've got a little bit of a hitch and you're thinking a little bit too much about the process of kicking rather than just going out and using muscle memory, it's going to affect you, and it shows up when the stress is higher. So clearly there's some concern. We all had hoped, I think in preseason, that we weren't going to have any issues and that he was going to be able to mentally just put it behind him, what happened last year. But so far we've seen some of the same struggles. So I think he still gets the vote of confidence for week one, but clearly the Browns are thinking about, if this struggles continue with Dustin Hopkins on extra points and field goals, that they're going to have to kind of consider what plan B could be.
Joe, when you look at these rookies that was drafted by the Browns with the season starting next week, which one is you more excited for? Which one gets you hyped up the most?
Well, I think Harold Fannin Jr. is going to be a big part of this offense. He's shown tremendous hands. His ability to catch the football and get open and then run after the catch has been awesome. But I think Carson Schlesinger is going to be a guy that shows up a lot on defense, because he has shown already his ability to rush the passer from that linebacker blitzing position. Jim Schwartz loves putting him up on the line of scrimmage and running stunts and games and blitzes from different directions. He's a very smart player. And so I think he's going to be a big impact player for the Browns this season. I think so far, Kevin Stefanski's draft, Andrew Berry's draft, has been really, really solid. I think all those guys, Mason Graham in the first round, I think when Judkins comes back here, hopefully he signs his contract soon. I think he's going to prove to be a great player. So I think all of the rookies that I've seen out there have done a really, really good job, and a lot of them are going to contribute this season.
Joe, we'll get you out of here on this. Before I ask my question, though, I do have to tell you, we're a no free advertising show, no free ads. However, I see you wearing the Hall of Fame beef shirt. That was the best beef jerky I've ever had. Shout out to you for sending me the box. No free ads. By Hall of Fame beef jerky.
Man.
It was incredible. I know the Joe Thomas endorsement does a lot. That's the Mikey McNuggets endorsement for Hall of Fame beef jerky. So shout out to you, Joe.
Hey,
in all seriousness,
Joe,
lot
mine
than,
must have been
mine
lost in the mail, Joe. I know mine was
You didn't
lost.
bring in any to share
McNuggets
with us.
didn't share any. It was
share
specific
any.
instructions.
Of course
to
not.
share
He ate
with
them
all
all.
his coworkers,
I-
and he
I'll
ate
br-
it all. What a
I
selfish
think-
dude.
Joe, I'll buy some more. I'll bring it in for them. But it was so good, I ate it all. But in all seriousness,
McNuggets.
in all seriousness,
Got our back.
Aiden Huntington is going to make this 53-man roster. He wears 66. He flies all around the field, Joe. When you were playing, whether it's a rookie, veteran at the end of your career, do you think you could have played all three phases, special teams, goal line, situation, heavy personnel, fullback, and defensive line, just like our guy Aiden Huntington's doing?
So I did play some defensive line in college. Played two. I had two games I played, bowl games, and I thought I did pretty good. I was the leading tackler my freshman year in our bowl game against Auburn,
Joe.
and then I played a little bit. Yeah, props.
That's
Here we
nuts,
go.
man.
Here we go. My junior year, I tore my ACL doing it, but was flying around playing D-line. So I think I feel like I could have done that, but that may be just like your ego of past accomplishments coming out. I do know one thing I would never have been able to do is that, and that's run on down on kickoff, because
gunner.
that guy's a human missile, and I am not nearly fast at all, especially after tearing the ACL in college and wearing the knee braces as a lineman. You just kind of lose that speed. So I definitely couldn't have done three phases, but I feel like I could have got a sack or two out there at defensive end.
I believe
love
it.
to have seen that.
I
to be
believe
honest
it.
with you.
Joe, we want to wrap it up this way. We do this every year. We watch them in the preseason. We look at the schedule. We make an assessment. I always make a realistic assessment, a pessimistic assessment, and an optimistic assessment. My pessimistic would be 2 wins. My realistic would be 4 wins. And my optimistic would be 6 wins. Am I nuts? What would your assessments be, your predictions for the season?
I think the preseason went really well because the team that they wanted to become, it seems like they're becoming that team. I mean, they're becoming a true team. You've got a lot of guys that understand their role and they understand their fit within the offense and the defense. There's a lot of buy-in. Kevin ran a much more challenging, tough, physical training camp, live tackling, longer practices, more physicality. And I think you saw the results in their joint practices, the way they beat up Carolina, they beat up Philadelphia. Having a chance to have dinner with the O-line and Flacco and Njoku and Kenny Pickett when I was down in Carolina with those guys, like, they're not saying it, but there's some good vibes. And they really feel that this is a team that's going to surprise some people. So I think those estimations there need to come up a little bit, because if you ask me, I think 8 and 9, 9 and 8 is probably about where they're going to finish the season.
Well,
and I think they can exceed that. I mean, just look back where they were the last time Flacco was here. I mean, that guy can run Stefanski's offense. If they can run the ball, if Quinshon Judkins comes back and becomes the beast that we think he can be, like, they can, they're not going to score like 40, but they can be a tough out on offense. They can control the football, and that defensive line is the best defensive line in the NFL, and it is going to be a problem for a lot of offenses, because Philadelphia Eagles, they got the best offensive line in the NFL, and they got whooped by the Browns defensive line in those joint practices over 2 days. So I'm really, really high on this team, especially when I consider what the outside national expectations are.
I
love to hear it. Yeah.
Joe, I said that a couple months ago, and they laughed at me. So it's good to hear you 8 and 9 as well.
I'm not laughing at you, man. I'm right
I
with
hope
you.
you're right.
Thank you.
I would love that if you're right. I probably shouldn't do this because it's year to year, but I also factor in 50 years of being a Browns fan. I can't just forget all of that. You know, and I always know that something's going to happen. We lead the league in drama every year. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's always something that knocks us off our course. Joe, great having you on. Thanks for sending that beef jerky for McNuggets. He enjoyed it. He's selfish. Doesn't care for his teammates.
Not at all.
We now know what it is. We now know what it is.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate having me on.
He's the best. Joe's the best.
He is the best, and he sent beef jerky for all of us.
That's messed up.
Okay, hold on.
McNuggets.
I know we have a bunch of super chats, and we'll get to it. It was a
Kill
pack
him,
of
Mike.
beef jerky, a sausage, and an extra small shirt. How was I supposed to know that's supposed to be shared with?
Well, the extra small shirt is kind of a shot at you.
I know. And he
kind of a
he
shot.
texted me. He goes, "If they had double XS, I would have gave you a double XS." So I didn't realize that was a shared. I mean, listen, I can't. No, we can't say things anymore. I can't say that. So super chats.
Yeah, the good.
All right, guys, I got 26 of these super
catch.
chats, so we're going to fly
my
through these.
goodness.
First, James Mace Jr. says, it's not the end of the world, relax. Not even sure what that's in reference to, but it was from the beginning of the show.
Definitely Shedeur.
William Beck, Shedor's Kobayashi Maro is throwing the ball out of bounds. He's not Captain Kirk, so he's going to have to learn how/when to do it.
That's definitely a Star Trek reference that G. Bush would know
Yeah.
that we don't.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's supposed to be Maru,
I
but
don't know.
I'm a Star Wars guy. Sorry. Lessons in Legends says, why didn't we run the ball or do more play action when Sanders was in the game? Being a shotgun the whole time was very predictable.
Okay.
Next from Dragon the Abandoner, even as a Shedeur fan, I question if it's worth keeping him every time he has a bad game, if our coach is going to be accused of sabotaging and racism, and not just by randoms, but by actual legitimate reporters.
Yeah, I just think that.
Yeah, that's the baggage.
I mean,
it's
yeah,
tough.
but the talent is there. I mean, I wouldn't care.
If in a normal
If
world,
as long as Kevin and Shedeur are on the same page about what's going on,
yeah.
then I wouldn't care.
Yeah, and Kevin, I believe Kevin. He's good at tuning out the outside noise. He can handle that. He's smart. He knows in the end of the day it means absolutely zero. My question to you is this: if said 5th round pick has performed the way he has in 2 games, really good in one and really poorly in another, and his name was Jeff Lewis,
Yep.
is he on this team?
Yeah,
He makes the team.
as a third.
At whose expense?
Oh, probably Kenneth Pickett because we didn't see him.
So you've seen enough in 2 preseason games.
I mean, he's going to be
less
third.
than a half.
He's
of
going to be
football.
third on the depth chart.
Right, but I think the juxtaposition there is in Kenny, you've seen 2 NFL seasons as a starter.
So don't you think you got more of an assessment on who he's going to be?
Yeah, he took a team to the playoffs. I'm not sure that Shadur Sanders can take this team or
It's
any
your
team.
job to find out.
It is, but also when your job is on the line,
You got your starter.
I know, but how many times have we gone 3 deep? We go 3 deep. I
Did we
just
go
I don't
3
know.
deep last year?
We went 4 deep last year. We went 5 deep the year before.
No, I'm talking about for the final 53. Was it?
No, we've never
3?
kept 4. That's unheard of. It's unheard of.
Who was? DTR.
Yeah.
DTR.
Keeping
Jameis
4. I don't know that anybody's kept 4 quarterbacks.
That's why I said.
That's what I'm saying. If his name is Jeff Lewis, like,
You
and
think
let's
Shedeur
forget-
would have got cut?
no, I'm asking you. I don't. I
Well,
would
the
say yes because
Didn't the Eagles just cut McCord?
first of all, if he was,
Did they cut
Did they?
McCord?
I think they did cut
They cut
McCord.
DTR.
Well, I know that.
I don't think they cut McCord.
McCord looked terrible. I didn't see much of him, but when I saw him, I'm like, oh my god, this guy's pathetic.
They did not cut him yet, but they just traded for a quarterback. And
Sam
the-
Howell, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that tells you what's going on.
The
there.
headline
Yeah,
from
dog.
PHLY, who's our All-State
Yes,
Philly,
yes.
says Eagles trade for quarterback means Kyle McCord unlikely to make 53-man roster.
Yeah, I can't imagine he does.
All right, next one.
All right, next one's from James Mace Jr. again. Aiden Huntington definitely jumped off the TV on Saturday.
Yep.
Next up, Vernell Jackson. They threw Sanders in with his O-line that he had at Colorado. 223 leaking. Jay couldn't wait for this moment. Grading.
I hated this moment. I said on Friday, I maintain this. I want every Cleveland Brown player to be awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Because
Yeah, I
that
don't-
mean the team will be awesome.
What I don't like
But
about
I got to call it the way I see it.
What I don't
And
like about this, Jay, is that they're trying to make people choose a side
Yes.
between Dillon and Shedeur.
Thank
Yes.
you.
And I'm not doing that. I'm calling
Tyvis-
I'm calling it what it is.
And by the way, thank you
I don't
for
understand
being that way.
People like if you with Shedeur, then you against Dillon, or if
Yeah.
you with Dillon, you against Shedeur. No, it's neither.
Ty, I have said for the last couple of years, our fan base is the most divisive in the NFL, which is why I didn't want to bring this kind of thing to our team. I've seen more people that I know are not racist called racist in the last 3 months because of the quarterback they think is better.
Can I ask you guys a question
Are
real
we
quick?
kidding right now?
Can I ask you a serious question? If Shedeur was drafted by the Chiefs,
Nobody would say anything.
do you don't think that some of the people who are
No, they would.
Shedeur fans would be like, he should be getting opportunities?
No.
No.
You don't think so?
No, because
No.
there wasn't
It's
an
Patrick
avenue
Mahomes.
for him there.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people said, well, Cleveland's the perfect place for him. And I said, Cleveland's the worst place for him because there is an avenue for him here. And what do? We advocate for number 2. In this case, number 4.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody advocate for number 4. This is new to me. But the fact, and you nailed it, somehow, because you're making these assessments, which we do at every position in every sport every year.
Every time?
If you don't pick 12,
That means you picking 5.
oh, well then, okay. It was the same thing.
And you know, it's crazy. Somebody accused me of that, and I'm sitting there like,
know.
did
Oh,
you
listen.
not just hear me talk about Dillon Gabriel last week? Like, what are you talking about?
I don't wanna hear it.
I said he was terrible. Well, I didn't say he was terrible, but I said he had a bad performance last week. He bounced back with a good one. Shedeur had a good one. I was singing his praises. He had a bad one on
Right.
this. I'm calling it like it is.
Thank you for doing that.
Like,
Thank
what?
you for doing that. Because,
Yeah,
look, at the
I
end of the
understand
day,
it.
I want Shadur Sanders to be
Is-
20 for 20 with 4 touchdowns and 300 yards passing. You know what that means? We are going to have a great season. It does the Browns no good if he played like he did Sunday or Saturday. That doesn't help us.
What I don't get it from the media, like us media. Whoa.
Whoa! You just
Whoa.
Stop yourself now. And next super chat. Next super
All right,
chat.
next super chat. James Mays Jr. Mikey, you don't have to explain what you saw in the game. An F is fair. It doesn't mean he's a bum, but it's just one game.
That's what I said. It's just one half. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we were trading on.
Next up, from Bernie Madoff,
that's
to the
it.
Flacco fans,
Bernie
the Pickett
Madoff.
pals, the Gabriel guys, the Sanders stands, and the Huntley heroes, and even the Watson watchers. None of these guys are good.
You know what? He's probably not wrong.
That's a good one.
I hope that's
Could they
not
have
the
6
case.
quarterbacks and none of them are good? Is that possible?
We do.
Mike, we haven't had a
I
good
mean-
quarterback since before we came
But I
back.
mean,
Bernie Kosar.
Fair. All right, sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
All right, Brody's bottom line says, Mikey, you've never played football before.
I did. I played 1 year in 2nd grade. I hated it. I got steamrolled every play.
And wait,
It's
what does
true.
that have to do with anything?
It's true.
I don't have a timestamp on any of these, so I'm not sure
I'm
what
sure
this
it's
is
I'm sure it's
referencing
because
to.
I said Shedeur played like crap. I'm assuming that's what it was.
Next
Which, by the
one.
way,
Well, look, if playing football or any sport becomes a prerequisite to reporting on that sport, we in trouble.
I also would just say
Who
this:
is
if,
we?
The world.
Oh.
if any quarterback, if you took the name off the stat sheet and I said someone went 3 for 6 for 14 yards, got sacked 5 times, and did not,
No, that's an F.
it is what it is. Like, go watch the tape.
That's what I said.
I
I'll
gave him a
sit-
D minus.
I will sit
because
with-
I had a heart.
Anyone who wants to,
couldn't do it.
anyone who wants
I said
to,
D plus.
and Ty, I would love for you to do this. If anyone wants to, we'll go through the tape. We'll go through all
Yeah, there's just
14 of his dropbacks, and like you tell me
nothing good happened.
where they're good. And it's one game. It doesn't really matter.
I
It's
just
one
don't
game.
like the fact that people are. It's the O-line excuse part that gets me the most about.
Yeah, it was, for the most part, it was very similar to the line that Dillon
because it's,
Gabriel had.
No, the problem with it is
Snoop did.
Snoop went right down
I mean,
there.
Snoop-
Them same
Snoop completed
people
one
and got-
pass.
Yeah, but
and got-
Bradley- yeah,
that's fine.
he
But
completed
it
one pass,
still
but
was
still,
more
yes.
productive.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like
Yes.
that part bothers me.
Yes.
Like
No, I know. It becomes an excuse becomes a crutch, and a crutch keeps you from performing.
At this point,
Get rid
at
of
the
the
end of the
excuses.
preseason, if you guys are surprised that both of them just looked okay, you were lying to yourselves. We all knew they weren't. Neither of them were ready.
Well, yeah, but the rational thinkers did. Some were
Anyway,
calling him
anyways.
legendary
Next,
after
Surge
a practice
Gamer.
throw.
well, I mean,
You guys ready for this one?
wrist
Let's
up.
hear it. Yep. Let's go ahead.
All right,
I
Surge
like
Gamer.
this stuff.
Save
I do
everyone
too.
I think it's
time
great.
and cut or trade Sanders. You're getting a QB in the draft next year. Let him sit in free agency, and if no one still wants him, no one still wants him.
We talking about Shedeur?
Yes.
See, that's the thing with that is he has a high ceiling. Like the upside is there. So I think that they're turning it into a project. Like if we get through to this guy, we got something here.
Yeah. Oh,
And I'm not
100%.
about to just throw it away. Like we've literally watched him in games thread a needle. His 2 touchdowns against Carolina. I mean, it was
Darts.
the first one was triple coverage and he scored
Great
on it.
throw.
Like, it's there. He just got other things that he got to clean up. And that's what Kevin and the rest of this team is looking at.
By the way, 23-year-old rookies always have something to clean
Yeah,
up.
like, what are we? So, no, I'm not releasing him. I'm not trading him because he has something there. Like,
Yeah,
you got to cut this out.
When you drafted him in the 5th round, you made the commitment that he's going to make the roster.
Yeah.
You made
If
that
6 or
decision.
7, you could cut him.
Because,
5th,
you know,
the 5th,
DTR,
you
what was
pushing it.
DTR, a 6th-round pick?
No, I think it was a 5th.
Fifth? Okay, DTR balled out in the preseason.
Made the roster, yeah.
Like, we thought, oh, my God, this guy's
traded Josh Dobbs.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
But in reality, if he didn't have the preseason that he did, he probably would have been cut.
maybe. Or
have a lot of just-
brought back on practice squad.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
We have a lot of cut Shedeur Sanders chats coming up, so just keep that same energy, guys. But Vernell Jackson says, Jay, since you're so excited about Gabriel, can you tell me what excites you about him? And then is he a Super Bowl winning quarterback?
Is he a Super Bowl winning quarterback? Yes. You want me to give you tomorrow's lottery numbers, too?
Is he winning you a Super Bowl is the exact question.
Listen, that became the argument with Baker. And where did that get us? Where did that get us? Is Baker going to win a Super Bowl? Guess what? Baker's a hell of a lot closer to winning a Super Bowl today than he would have been had he stayed here. So they did Baker a favor. Is Dillon Gabriel going to win a Super Bowl? No. Is Shedeur Sanders going to win a Super Bowl? No. If I had to give an answer to either of those questions, they were late draft picks. They're not supposed to win Super Bowls. It doesn't mean they can't. If they develop, they can. What excites me about Dillon Gabriel? His command of the offense. He didn't look rattled. Came in a 2-minute drive, made clutch throws, led the team down the field on a touchdown drive that was huge in the game. He makes big third down throws. In his first game, I thought he was great on third down.
He was
That's
money.
the money down. That's where your money's made.
He was money
So,
on this
and his
side
arm
of the Rams,
strength
too.
So there's a lot that excites me about him.
All right, next up from Brody's bottom line says, just cut Sanders, please. Kevin doesn't want him on the roster, and everyone knows it.
So here's the thing about that quickly. The please cut him. Where's he going? Where's he going to play?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't get that. That's the part I don't get either. People are.
Maybe New Orleans? Is New Orleans going to invite this down there?
New Orleans is currently talking about wanting to trade for Deshaun Watson on Twitter. That's where their fans are at. All right, next
Wow.
up, Vernell
Please
Jackson.
don't listen to that.
What quarterback has Kevin Stefanski whispered to again? Then James Mace Jr. says, wasn't Snoop Huntley on like the 20th alternative for the Pro Bowl?
Something
Yes.
like that.
Then Jay Visuals
Well, no, wait,
says,
hold on. There are only 15 teams in the AFC, so no, he wasn't the 20th alternative. He was the 3rd or 4th, and he made the roster. I can't change history.
I think he was like number 6.
He was a nice.
You know,
Anyway, Jay Visuals
wasn't the
says,
ninth.
what's going on with
he was not the
Judkins?
9th.
I'll show you right now.
Call it up.
What difference does it make? He,
8
I will-
quarterbacks said
I
no.
will
he got a pro.
I
He
will
was a
literally
Pro
show you.
Bowl.
Yeah,
Show me.
Next question.
Keep it going.
Show
I'm
Next
fine.
one. Jay Visuals says, what's going on with Judkins? Are we going to get him signed before week 1?
That's such a
good
great question, man.
That's something we should have spent a lot of time talking about today, but we talked about other crap.
I feel like they need him. Although I did like Dylan Sampson. His balance. He's exactly what I thought he was from the SEC. When I seen him at Tennessee, he was the low center gravity, but he has really good balance.
Let me ask you this question about because the one position that I've always been told from coaches, general managers, players that you can plug and play is the running back.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a scenario where he signs his contract in the next 2 weeks? And I wonder if the Browns aren't holding off on that because they want to see what the league is going to do. At some point, a league punishment is coming.
What difference does it make? You're going to sign him regardless
No,
of
I know
what
it does.
punishment
But,
it is.
but in my mind, you could sign him and he could play in week 1 if
Oh,
the
yeah.
NFL doesn't get to their discipline.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So, the reason I ask it is because that's the position where guys can come in and the playbook is what the playbook is. You got to know where to run.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I've seen guys traded in the next week. They run in a new offense and kill it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I got 11 left.
Okay.
Brody's bottom line, Jay Huntley threw 1 pass. Steven Allen says over-under Snoop finally wins the job in 2026. Then Deontay
That's
says,
funny.
Jay, this one's for you. Jay has 0 respect for his coworkers. Dude's just cutting people off.
That's true. I do.
Never seen a,
I cut them
never
off,
seen
but
a
I'll
show
tell you
of
this.
analyst.
If I got a box of goodies in the mail, I would share them. I always do. You ask my coworkers upstairs.
All right, Original says Browns were a circus before we got here. What was y'all's record last year? James Mace Jr. says Dustin Hopkins or Ray Finkel. Who are you taking?
Ray Finkel? Long as you keep
Listen,
the laces out.
Listen, I'm taking Ant right now as our kicker.
I would take Ant too.
I'm going to be
Because-
honest. I could go out cold and outkick Hopkins the way he was kicking.
I wouldn't be surprised. You know what? We really should do that. We should go
right.
out and have a kicking competition between all of us from 30 yards. Who can make the
should do
most
that.
out
I
of
know
5
I
kids?
would.
I'm
we'll set
smoking
that
all
up.
of
I
you.
know
Let's
I
do
would
it.
make it.
All right, Halim Youssef says unpopular opinion. If you remove Sanders, it was a great draft. 4 starters, a cheap long-term backup, and a supercomputer and a legit NFL quarterback.
Supercomputer.
Delee Crypto says, "Hi Jay, I went to South Central High School. Did you ever play us?" South Central High School.
No, I did not play South Central High School.
Kirk Davis says Gabriel had one good game and people are acting like he's been killing it all preseason. I'm still rocking with Sanders. Sanders had one good game too. Sonny, did Tyvis really just admit he's a media member?
Yes.
No,
did.
No,
Oh,
that's
no.
not. No, I did.
Yes, you did.
No,
Ty.
I
You
did
said
not. No, I
us
did.
in the media.
No.
All right, I got one last one, guys.
That's gonna be
Bill
oh.
Rodewalt. I think once the Browns are eliminated, we will see Gabriel and Sanders in the same game.
Oh, you
The
think
ones
they
that are eliminated from
oh, you
playoff
think they gonna
contention at the end of the
split?
season.
No, they wouldn't
No.
do that. They would give them a whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This ain't the preseason. They gonna give them a whole game. They gonna let one play for the full game because you want them to
Yeah, I
prepare
think I
that
agree
whole
with that.
weekend.
Unless
to
one
start.
of them, one of them gets hurt, then you have to. But
But there's no way
You're not gonna
half
go
and
into
half.
it.
you
NFL
gonna
game
let
saying
them
you're gonna get a
prepare
half
that
and then you're gonna
entire
get a
week
half.
and play the game.
yes, and see what you got.
Exactly.
By the way, Huntley was the 6th alternate. The number 9 I got
Okay.
was he was the 9th quarterback because the 3 plus the 6.
Well, either way,
Yeah.
the great Huntley debate ends. We're going to Tuesday's show. Have a great day, everybody. That was our last of our
Listen,
Super Chats.
Put some respect on that man's name. Pro Bowler.
Pro Bowler.